3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ring Post Radio, the only show that keeps on kicking. I'm your host, Ryan Knightsey, and with me, as always, is Scotty Edwards. Scotty, how are you doing today?
Doing wonderful. My mouth hurts. My soul hurts. My head kind of hurts,
Same.
but I'm here. I'm still here. You know,
You still-
as Vince McMahon many times said, the show must go on. So I'm here with that mindset. Kind of hate that mindset, but again, I'm here because the show must go on. We have I don't even know what we have today. I already forgot.
Well,
But I'm here.
I appreciate you.
Royal Quest is out. That's the most important part.
That is important. We couldn't obviously watch it before we
No.
talk about the show, but we'll talk about New Japan still. A lot of stuff happening in New Japan as well. But I appreciate you being here, Scotty. Of course, I know it's been a rough weekend for you with your tongue, whatever the hell is that wrong with your tongue? Is there like a name? Is there the name for it or something?
You don't want to hear the name.
There is a legit name for it.
I mean, I call it a canker, which doesn't sound great.
No, no, it doesn't.
Maybe
yeah.
I'll make it. Maybe I won't.
I think
We'll see.
I think last week I my intro for the show was that this was the healthiest show known to man.
You ended the show with a migraine.
That was 2 weeks ago.
Ah,
I called it the healthiest show known to man because the night was the night. No, it's because I was playing off the idea that I had a migraine last week during the show, so this week I was better. That night I had another migraine. And then yesterday I had a migraine. I've had 3 migraines in 3 weeks.
that might be a problem.
Yeah, I'm going to the doctor tomorrow. I think it's my cholesterol. I think my cholesterol is high, and I need to take medicine. But it's a whole issue with my doctor. But ultimately,
And this is Dr. Ryan Knightsey.
yeah, this is Dr. Ryan Knightsey, DMD, of
Ring
course.
Post Radio.
I'm a doctor of dentist, apparently. Yeah, no. So I don't know what the full issue is, but it's like a lot of other symptoms that my fiance and I are all kind of putting together to think, I think it's my cholesterol being super high.
We're doing great.
We're doing it. We're not
folks.
falling apart. It is episode 66, so one more 6 and we'll be officially dead, maybe.
3 more. Listen. We only need 3 more episodes, and we can end it.
We'll go out on top, or power bottom. Anyways, that one got Scotty. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this show today. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to talk about New Japan's Declaration of Power. A pretty great show, I would say. A pretty solid show from New Japan. Felt like a reset. A lot of stuff was happening on the show up and down the card. So very important show to talk about there. There was also AAA's Triplemania XXX in Mexico City, the third of 3 Triplemanias this year. The last one we revealed someone under a mask, someone lost their hair in an ambulance, and there was a match of the year contender. Can you believe it? We'll preview NXT Halloween Havoc. That's happening this upcoming Saturday on the Peacock Network, I guess. And we got some news bits. So we'll get to the news first, Scotty. We'll start off with kind of the big news, maybe. Some little weird news. Gallows and Anderson. Let's talk about these fellas. So Gallows and Anderson. Anderson, of course, Carl Anderson being the current New Japan Never Openweight champion. They both showed up on Raw, on WWE's Raw last Monday. And currently, they're scheduled to have a tag match tomorrow night against the Alpha Academy, I believe. And while this is all happening, while they're showing up on Raw and doing all this other stuff, they, at least Carl Anderson, is still being advertised for an upcoming New Japan show to defend his never openweight title against Hikuleo. There is also retweets by the New Japan World account saying that, retweeting that they're showing up on Raw. So, Scotty, does this mean that what is happening? Is there a relationship being formed between WWE and New Japan? Is Gallows and Anderson signed to someone? What's happening, Scotty? Let us know.
Time for me to throw that curveball. This is New Japan's response to AEW working with Noah, DDT, and TJPW. They finally found their answer. In all seriousness, I just think Gallows and Anderson were going back. They wanted to go back. They're not on really most of New Japan's shows. They're on one every few months. So I think it's fine. I mean, they're going to wrap up with New Japan however way they do, hopefully with him losing the never openweight title, and we'll be on our way. But it would be kind of cool if they struck a deal where it's like, yeah, we'll give you them early if you give us Nakamura for Wrestle Kingdom for like a one night only type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like those would be the cool things that work. I don't expect that to happen because of who we're dealing with here, but it was cool to see them show up, even if I don't really care for them, just because of that New Japan aspect. It's, I don't know. I think way too many people care about the Good Brothers this week. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I am like, look, it's the Good Brothers. Who cares? They haven't been putting the greatest of effort into Impact. Carl Anderson had some good stuff in New Japan, but that Tanahashi match was weak. Gallows was just having bouts with Yano.
Do you think Luke Gallows has ever had a good match?
Well, I mean,
no. You
no.
already answered.
But let's talk about, what do you think is Luke Gallows' best match?
Oh jeez, I don't want to play the Bray Wyatt game today.
Now we're talking. Now are we talking just Luke Gallows or tag team?
It can involve tag team. Otherwise, you're not finding anything.
Now, is Luke Gallows' best match the one where Inoki interrupted it and told him to do the finish?
I hope so. I mean, he's bad, dude.
I'm looking it up. I'll ask this. So, what do you think his? I'm not going to count the Royal Rumble. The best match he has is the Royal Rumble, apparently, according to a cage match. What do you think the highest match is? What do you think the highest number of the match is on cage match?
With no way it touches 9, so probably something in the 8s.
Yeah, I'll count this one a 6-man. You'll understand why this one was great. This is a 6-man on AEW, February 3rd, 2021. The rating was an 8.28. It was Luke Gallows teaming up with Carl Anderson, of course, and Kenny Omega versus Jon Moxley, Pac, and Rey Fenix. Now, do you think it was Luke Gallows that was the one that made that match an 8.28?
No, I can't say it is. All right, that's enough. We've already talked about Luke Gallows too much.
I'm actually
Gallows, whatever his fucking name is.
Legitimately though, his best singles match is a Derby City Street fight against PCO that happened in July of this year, and it was a 6.8 on cage match. Anyways, so I don't really care about Gallows and Anderson too much. I don't really care about Gallows and Anderson too much. But I mean, ultimately, the idea is like, no one has really heard of anything of them being signed. The classic thing is like, well, they weren't signed to New Japan, but doesn't seem like they're signed to WWE either currently. You would have to think they would be for WWE to allow that. But it's also a new era, so who knows?
It said they were signing big money contracts.
Yeah, that's the belief, but there was nothing confirmed as of yet, as far as I've seen. And then honestly, I don't see a relationship happening here. I think it's the New Japan World account just retweets everything. They retweeted the WWE appearance of Gallows and Anderson. This morning, they retweeted a Tom Customs fake image of Orange Cassidy versus Minoru Suzuki. So I'm going to say we don't acknowledge the New Japan World retweet account
No, but
So
Jay White does, baby.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Jay White, baby.
Jay White's great because he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's fantastic. Um, I realize our Twitter is not getting sent the data, so I'm trying to figure out how to solve that. But
As it should.
while I try to solve that, I'll tee you up on the next bit here. So and I great bit for Scott to get teed up on because I know he has lots to say about it. According to reports, AEW is no longer allowed to work GCW shows. This ending with Moxie's last appearance. Of course, some wrestlers can still work other indies. And if you're probably someone as big of a wrestler like John Moxley or Jericho or anyone else that was that big, I'm sure that they could probably still work for GCW. But the idea kind of, we don't really know why it's like no GCW, but they can still do indies. They're
Give you a
probably,
few reasons.
I'll tee you up there and give you those reasons. But at the very least, with GCW, it seems they are no longer connecting ties to that the third brand in the United States. So, Scotty, talk about it. What do you give me all those reasons why?
I guess there's two sides to look at this. There's the one side where it's like, oh well, if they were independent contractors, they would get to work wherever they want. Which is kind of like the boring one that I don't really care for. Um, I think there's a certain level if you sign a contract as you do with W or with AEW. One, calling these wrestlers independent contractors just doesn't make sense to me anymore. They're roster members, they're members of your team. Um, but alas, we move on from that. The whole GCW thing, it's like, what does Tony Khan get out of GCW? Nothing. He gets nothing out of them appearing in GCW. It is nothing that works in that relationship that benefits him, right? You work with AAA, you get AAA wrestlers. You work with New Japan, you get New Japan wrestlers. You work with all these other companies, you get something, you give something. He gave a lot to GCW. They had John Moxley as their GCW World Champion for how many months, right? And listen, I know a lot of people like GCW, but GCW is the poor man's ECW in a lot of ways, and that a lot of it's just weak, a lot of it's just bad. Yeah, you'll have matches from time to time that are worth checking out, right? Like Mike Speedball, Bailey's there. He'll have some good matches there. There's a few guys that do that, but ultimately, GCW is it's just an independent wrestling company where people have to remember this. And I think I part of me does think this is a legitimate part of the problem for GCW is that Brett Lauderdale is I don't want to say buddy buddy, but he he seems to have more of a relationship with WWE than Tony Khan, in some ways. I think people do forget that. I know like he just takes pictures with like Stephanie McMahon and Triple H or whatever. I don't even remember the pictures, but like as Tony Khan said, he's not taking that shit anymore. He's not dealing with that. But jokingly, I just think it's better for AEW not to have their wrestlers losing on those shows, being a part of those shows, because more often than not, when you hear about GCW nowadays, it's because of what they did wrong, not what they did right. Um, the fact that he had his world champion lose to Nick Gage tells you enough that it's like, you know what, I did what I needed to do for you guys. I'm done. I'm done. Um, n- I the only people that lose in this scenario is GCW. I don't lose in this scenario. Ryan doesn't lose in this scenario. AEW doesn't lose in this scenario. Only GCW. If you want to watch the AEW wrestlers, guess what, Ryan? You can watch them in AEW. You don't have to see them in GCW. I think he has relationships with the likes of like a PWG. Well, obviously PWG with Excalibur, Defy. Those are Mission Pro. Like those are the companies I could see them still pop up in terms of indies.
I'll say
Um,
West Coast Pro. Daniel
West
Garcia
Coast
showed
as
up.
West Coast Pro as well. And truthfully, I think part of the reason is all those companies are far more respected than GCW. So there's that too. I get it. It's a good move in terms of thinking like Tony Khan. I do feel bad for the wrestlers who may want to work GCW, but you have like every other company possible to work for right now. I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, I completely agree. If anything, it's also the idea of like you said, there are other indies that you can work with to showcase those other indies.
Better indies.
You worked with GCW, you did that run, you worked for them a year. Let's shift our focus to other indies with West Coast Pro, with Defy, with other partners we're working with. Will they go back to GCW? They could. They certainly could. There's nothing saying they won't be. We don't know what this sort of ban is. What happened with this breakup or whatever? Who the heck knows? But ultimately, it's like it's fine. You'll still see them on the indies. You just won't see them on, of course, the number 3 brand in America. So that's, I mean, I guess that's the disappointment. But they're competition. They're number 3 now. They're competition. So
Number 3.
yeah, remember earlier this year when everyone was saying that GCW was the number 3 brand in
Yeah.
America?
Well, strong. I think I put strong over them.
Oh yeah, heavily now.
I put if Ring of Honor does come back, I'm going to put Ring of Honor over them.
You're gonna put the dead brand of Ring of Honor over GCW.
Yeah, well, we're talking about 2 dead brands here, so except one just has shows.
Got him.
And I think Ring of Honor will be fine when they do come back. And I think we're starting to see the cracks of Ring of Honor getting a contract more and more as we watch AEW television. So
Yeah, as someone that works for Warner Media Discovery currently, I truly believe nothing is going to happen until the new year, just based on how they handle money. Trust me, folks.
unless they go somewhere else.
That's true. That's true. Contract news. Let's talk about contract news. So we have a couple big signings and some free agencies happening. Of course, an Impact. Mia Yim is a free agent. Her contract ended around Bound for Glory, and we have not heard news about her resigning, and rather, in fact, heard news that she would be a free agent. And there's also Chris Bay. There were some concerns that maybe he was leaving, but in fact, he has re-signed to a multi-year contract to stay with Impact. So I think that's a great move for Impact. He's a great guy, great
I wish
get.
he left.
I wish he left as well, but I understand keeping him. And then,
I definitely understand keeping him, but I don't. No. He's just so much better than what they do with him.
That's fair. That's
which
fair.
is nothing.
Yeah, it's like you put him in there, and it's like got to make him at least X Division. You got to give him a world title, more title shot stuff. Like I don't know. I would have rather seen him flourish somewhere else. But the concern also at the same point is he'll probably easily get signed up by AEW immediately, if not WWE. So it's a different market. So I don't know. Maybe that's it. But then also speaking about AEW, Renee Paquette has also signed with AEW. Of course, former WWE broadcaster, commentator, backstage reporter, shoulder content provider, has signed with AEW. And on the same day, I think it was, that a Warner Media executive saying, yeah, we're trying to develop more shoulder content with AEW. And then we announced Renee Paquette signing with AEW. I have a feeling I know where this is all going. Scotty, how do you feel about these signings, these free agencies, and the like?
I can't believe that the best women's signing of the year for AEW isn't a wrestler, but here we are. Yes, that is both a shot at Saraya. Yes, that is also a shot at whoever else. I don't know who else they signed. I just had Saraya in my head, so that's why I said it. I think it's a brilliant move, a move that makes sense. I think she's the best at what she does. I think you felt that instantly when she just showed up the other night. It's hard to add to a wrestling broadcast as a backstage correspondent, an interviewer. You got to be the best of the best, and I think she is. I think she is that. Now Tony Schiavone doesn't have to run around, so that's good for him. Happy for him. He can stay at the desk. And I think whatever they do more with, they will do more with her. it'll be good. It'll be good. It's something I look forward to. And now they have all of WWE backstage signed. So congratulations.
Yeah, I feel like you do a sort of AEW backstage now. And
Yeah.
that's easy the joke, but
I
why not?
actually liked that show. I know like people made fun of it because no one watched it because it was on FS1 at like 10 p.m. But it was actually a pretty good show.
Who do you think will be the Ryan Satin of the FS1? Who would be the Ryan Satin of the AEW backstage shoulder content?
Um,
Who little wrestling media star will get plucked from obscurity and be joined on the backstage for AEW and Warner
Tony
Media?
Khan, you can make it me. I'm just saying. I'm offering my services. I can report anything that you need me to report. I'll say that you're the best promoter, and I'll give you the promoter of the year award if you want. If you want to pay me, just saying.
Well, I can tell you who
I have no,
I
I
can
have
tell
no
you who
idea.
it's I can tell you who it's not going to be. That'd be Ariel Helwani. That brings us to our next conversation. Ariel Helwani. Last week, Ariel Helwani did an interview on his YouTube channel with Tony Khan where they discussed a bunch of stuff, or at least attempted to discuss a bunch of stuff, like the all-out press conference brawl, MGF's contract situation, Bray Wyatt, his relationship with Nick Khan, and all that stuff. Tony didn't give answers to a lot of things. I thought the interview was quite well. I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if you saw it, Scotty. Tony Khan was saying that he understood why questions were being asked, but never answered a lot of questions. But I thought overall the interview was pretty good. I enjoyed the interview.
There's so many of them now. It's just like
He
they're
does.
almost all the same.
He does. Tony does a lot of the same interviews. But then on the MMA Hour, Ariel Helwani was asked what he thought about the interview, and he said, quote, that it was the most frustrating interview in his career. He goes on to say that, now look, you're going to come on and promote X, Y, and Z, and great, I'll play the dance with you as I did at the beginning, but you got to give us something. To not even tell me how you were feeling, give me something. Don't just say, not going to talk about it, not going to talk about it. Doesn't serve me, doesn't serve me. This is just me shooting right here. I feel like Tony Khan doesn't trust me. I feel like he doesn't really like me. And I feel like he came in with his guard super up and he didn't want to give me any sort of morsel because he thought that if he opened the door a little bit, I would ask X, Y, and Z. He then goes on to say, if you're saying right now with a straight face that the AEW product is better than the WWE product, you're just a liar. You're just an absolute liar. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. The WWE product is infinitely better, infinitely more interesting, and there's a freaking brawl happening backstage each and every week, it seems. Meanwhile, it's all kumbaya on the WWE side of things. Like, if you're going to be a super fan, be a super fan, but also tell it like it is. 6 months ago wasn't the case, but right this second, if you're going to sit here and say that's a better product, you're an absolute liar. So, and then he's also defending himself on Twitter. He does like another show where he's defending himself again. He's really doubling down on defending his comments. But what did you think of this whole Ariel Helwani drama that happened this past week?
Ariel Helwani is right about Tony Khan needing to say a little more in interviews. However, he is not right about pretty much everything else. Ariel Helwani is he's a guy that I've followed for a few years now, mostly for his MMA stuff, not for his wrestling anything. He is also the guy that just did a voiceover for WWE, so there's that.
He's also a former client of the current CEO of WWE, Nick Khan.
Also true. I think Tony Khan does need to open up about things, but what Ariel Helwani wanted him to open up about were legal situations that you can't open up about. So that, regardless, is just idiotic of him. You should know, like, if it involves legal anything, you can't talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't. But Tony Khan is very protective. Anytime he does interviews, he'll just pretty much like he'll pretty much do what he does in his Twitter, which is like, this Wednesday night on Dynamite. And it's like, dude,
he'll find a way to
please.
turn it into a plug.
Yeah, and it's like, if you're gonna do all these interviews, you do got to say something eventually that's like worth grabbing. But all of what Ariel Helwani said about WWE being superior as a brand and or as a in terms of content and what they're doing and stories and all that, that's just I'm not even gonna give like that attention. I watched I watched Dynamite last week. Last week? Last week. It was great. This past week was pretty good. Like I watched Raw or parts of Raw this past week. It was not good. It wasn't great. Like they had moments. They had moments. They had Brock come back. They had something else that happened. Then the Good Brothers come back.
Seth
They had all
Rollins.
these little things.
Seth
Seth
Rollins won the
Rollins won the
title.
title. I liked how they did that, but let's not sit here and just lie. I watched SmackDown this week to just confirm this because I knew we would talk about it. SmackDown was pretty solid. Still wasn't better than Dynamite. Doesn't matter. And I'll get to SmackDown a little later because I do want to give some praise to someone. But let's stop lying. AEW is the far superior content machine right now. Just because I think the story or whatever of Walter and his Intercontinental Championship might be my favorite in terms of U.S. wrestling right now. That's only because they ruined the Ring of Jericho storyline a little for me this past week. Not ruined, but they changed it to a point where I fell out of it a little.
They zagged while you wanted to.
Yeah, which you kind of expected, but it's like you could have just kept going the way that no one really you never really thought because you did the wrestling thing instead of like the natural thing.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean WWE is better. That was my whole point. Like, just because I enjoy the Walter stuff doesn't mean I'm gonna sit here and say WWE is better. It's not. It's not. It's not even close.
Yeah, I mean, you listen to our Extreme Rules review from last week. You and I, especially me, buried a lot of the stuff happening, and I obviously, I'm not a big MMA guy. I haven't been like following Ariel Helwani. I know he obviously has big gripes with the UFC and Dana White and all this stuff, but
Brock Lesnar.
So Brock Lesnar. I get the impression that like the guy definitely speaks in absolutes, and like if this group of people believe this, then this must be true. And that certainly is an idea, but like saying things like, oh, everyone's talking about buzzing about how great WWE is right now, but if you think that's not true, then you're a liar. You're an absolute liar. Oh, the Attitude Era was the best era in wrestling history, and then Tony Khan's like, I like the '80s. Like, I don't like the Attitude Era. I was okay. I was more into the '80s. And Ariel Helwani being like, huh? Like, he very much. I'm getting the impression that this man very much speaks like he goes with, I don't know, whoever's maybe paying him, goes with whoever's telling him, allegedly.
I might too. To be fair,
that's true.
One wants to pay me.
That's true. If we have to start shilling products over here, give us a call, GCW, and we're open for business.
I will shill the shit out of Raquel Rodriguez if you need me to. Just saying.
I will go on here and say the Hammerstein show was the best show ever if GCW cut me a check.
They're not going to cut you checks. Don't worry.
They don't have checks to cut.
They don't cut their own wrestlers checks. So you want them to cut you a check?
Yeah, okay. That's just ribbon on the square. That's not the phrase. But I definitely feel like it's just I get the impression this guy speaks in absolutes, and it's look, it's like
I speak in absolutes.
Well,
I did it, but I'm going to now from now on. I'm gonna be the Ariel Helwani of Ring Post Radio.
I love to see it. We'll get traction, I guess. So we'll get MMA. We'll get the interview Triple H. Now, did you
Call
see
me Scott E. Helwani?
Did you see the Triple H interview as well as the Tony Khan interview
from back like a few weeks ago?
Yeah, I think it was Clash of the Castle.
When he was like dead or stuff, and they were talking about Sasha and stuff. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. Do you? So that another issue with the whole thing that Ariel is big time defending on is defending that interview because a lot of people claimed that he was throwing softball questions to Triple H, but throwing hardball questions to Tony Khan, and that they were not fair questions. Do you agree with that sentiment at all?
Yeah, WWE clears their questions. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Especially because the way they did that interview was like very professionally done. It was like a sit down, like kind of almost a video, like a professional video in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. You know they clear those questions. They're not letting you interview him, and they're not gonna have you ask him like, hey, how do you feel about Vince McMahon with all those sexual assault cases, huh? How do you feel? They're not gonna do that.
Yeah. He
They're
should.
not gonna do
I
that.
think he should.
Obviously he should, but he's not going to.
Yeah.
And if Triple H didn't respond because it's a legal situation, guess what? I would have been like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
That's true. And I agree
Same
with that.
scenario.
I agree with that.
No, back up. Legal scenario you don't talk about. Not the scenarios in terms of what they're both dealing with. Well, Triple H isn't really dealing with it anymore. He's probably moved on. He's having a great time.
Well, I imagine he's still dealing with it in some way just because he's still on the board and still part of management.
Yeah, I guess.
He's still like people forget that.
This
like,
man's on SmackDown trying to make sure Rey Mysterio doesn't retire. He has bigger issues now.
I know that's true. That is all true. We all wish the best for Rey Mysterio. But like another thing that people forget is that like Vince still is in charge of the company. Like he still has the controlling power. He still has voting power. Vince, Stephanie, Nick, they all still work with Vince McMahon like nearly probably every day. Like they're still in constant conversation with this guy. Like he's not gone completely. He doesn't make the calls per se, but they still work with him.
He's not gone until he's dead.
Yeah, they still work with him. It's not like, oh, Vince out of the company and he's gone forever. He's probably still talking to him every day. He's also his father-in-law. Yeah,
they're still family. I mean, yeah, just go away all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue with Ariel is that I saw someone describing. I think it was
named after a mermaid. Oh, sorry.
That's true. That's true. Number one. That's that issue. Number two, I believe it was like. I forget who it was on Twitter that said it, and I want to shout them out. But Trevor Dame. I think it was him. Was tweeting out saying something along the lines of like an interview is almost like a battle where it's like one side is trying to get something, the other side is also trying to get something. One side is trying to get the news, the information, the hot goss, while the other side is trying to look good and promote something. And it's both. The interview is ultimately that battle, that clash of ideals to try to showcase something. It really feels like Ariel lost that battle, and now he's defending it and being like, "No, I didn't lose. This guy's blaming his losses on Tony Khan and stuff," which I get, but it's like, look, man, you didn't get what you wanted, and now you're defending yourself.
It's as someone that does interviews, it's definitely a battle in a lot of ways because, like,
oh yeah, you told me a couple things.
you can only do so much to get certain answers.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be pushy or anything. You don't want to upset the person you're talking to either. Because, like, I mean, he went on to pretty much say all he did, so clearly he didn't care anymore. But, like, personally, from what I've done, it's like, I don't want to ever do that. If they don't want to answer something, they don't want to answer something. You have to move on.
Yeah.
You have to prepare an interview in the idea that if they don't want to answer this, you have another set to go to, right? In a lot of ways. Like I usually list like 20 questions. Do I use all of them? No. Because sometimes they're just not comfortable answering everything. Yeah. And that's fine.
And you're feeling it out in the interview process. I mean, we sat down with Jack Morris. I had a couple questions that we didn't get to that we were just like, oh, the interview is going this direction. I'm going along with it.
Exactly. It doesn't matter the person, like where the person is in terms of like, Tony Khan's the owner and a billionaire, but you still should go towards that interview as you do for him, an MMA guy, right?
Yeah.
Like in the same mindset of, okay, I'm going to try to get these things out, but if the interview goes one way or the other, so be it.
Yeah. Completely agree. Well, let's get to the big review and previews of our show today. And we're going to start off with New Japan's Declaration of Power. It was a show that happened this past Monday. And I gotta say, pretty good show. A lot of stuff happening on it, of course. Pretty solid show. Scotty, what did you think of the whole Declaration of Power as a whole?
It was nice to watch a New Japan show that felt like a New Japan show. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
yeah. Still missing the fan cheering, which
Yeah,
it's
baby steps.
baby steps, slowly getting back to that. But it definitely, I get what you're saying. It started to have those vibes of this feels like stuff is happening. It feels like a New Japan show.
I think it's because Narita came back. Honestly, I think that's like half the reason. Cause it's like, oh, they actually like brought in a new person, like which
Yeah,
hasn't happened in like forever.
they're breathing new life into this company for sure.
Yeah, which they had like you and me talked about last week, where you said like you get the four guys that they're kind of going with.
Yeah, the Ren
It's like,
Narita, Yosuji, Shota Umino, and Yuya Uemura. I was
yeah,
like,
it's like,
those are pretty good four pillars of a company.
and of course, like Yuya and Yoda are further off because they just went over,
Yeah.
but it won't be long.
No, I don't think
Like
so.
those two seem very ready.
And
Like,
not just
I think Narita and Shota, they kind of got screwed too, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
started with COVID, extension, then you got to kind of figure yourselves out again, extension. Now we're cooking.
Now we're cooking with gas. There's also been reports saying that like TV Asahi and not TV Asahi, Bushiroad has been wanting to like go younger
young.
with the talent. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Yuya Uemura and Yota Tsuji return quicker than usual.
I think Shota's gonna. I think that guy's getting the rocket strapped when he steps back in.
I feel that way as well.
I can feel it.
Well, let's talk
Anytime I see
about
this guy. I'm like, ooh.
let's talk about the show. Let's
Gotta
talk
see
about
Royal Quest though to know that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Since he had a big match.
Big match. Oh yeah, I haven't seen Royal.
Big match shooter.
But not, and also big match Yoda, right? There was Yoda Tsuji also had
Ishii, right?
Yeah.
I actually can't wait to see that.
I'm actually I'm probably after the show I'm going to be watching Royal Quest. But yeah, I'm super excited for it. Let's talk about the show. Let's start off with we were talking about Ren Narita. Let's talk about Ren Narita. 6-man tag match. David Finlay, Ren Narita, Robin Eagles defeating the team of Doki, El Desperado, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. I thought this was great. Ren Narita comes back, showcasing himself as the son of Strong Style. Obviously, we knew he was kind of leaning into it. If you're watching Strong, he's leaning into the Shibata-ness of himself. But oh boy, the New Japan's fully behind that idea as well. They're like, all right, here we go, mini Shibata, here we go, baby.
The good sign is that on commentary they already hinted at the idea that he won't be junior forever. It's like, yeah, he'll probably be junior early on, maybe, kinda, but he can wrestle everybody because that's kind of who he's supposed to be. I was like, good, don't handcuff him. This guy is kind of limitless in his potential. I mean, if anyone didn't see it, check out the Juice Robinson match he had on Strong.
That was great.
Days before, where he was bleeding like a freaking pig, and then he proceeded to still beat Juice Robinson. That's who he beat.
Yeah.
Which is a big deal. Watch that. But yeah, this guy felt like a complete star in his first match back. I mean, let's not forget he did get the rub this year of being the guy to wrestle Katsuyori Shibata in Shibata's return match. So it's not like it's shocking that they're fully behind him. Like, that's not a match you should give to somebody. And I'm sure Shibata picked him. But still, it's not a match that they just give someone. 100%. This dude is everything you want him to be. He made this tag very exciting. It was pretty much him versus those three. Him and Despy is a money match.
Yep.
Him and Kanemaru could be really good.
I'll say him.
All these guys.
I'll say him and Doki as well. Why not?
Yeah, they were good in the final stretch. I can't wait to see this guy. Yeah. He's so exciting.
Yeah, we're talking about breath of fresh air. This is what Ren Narita brings, and I'm already on board.
The guy that just wears trunks and boots is truly exciting.
Enochiism is back. Let's do it. Trunks, black
Oh yeah,
trunks,
they
black
had the
boots.
big celebration
Mm-hmm.
of Inoki's life before this match.
Mm-hmm.
But Wrestle Kingdom's the Inoki show, so that will not be ending.
Well, yeah, we'll feel that for sure at the Wrestle Kingdom show as well. Next up was a tag team match. Dangerous Tekkers, Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. defeated the team of Bad Dude Tito and Shane Haste. Commentary is playing this up, obviously, as a World Tag League preview.
Mikey Nichols.
No Mad Mikey Nichols. They're sort of teasing the idea that's going to be Bad Dude Tito and Shane Haste as the TMTK team. Don't know what's up with Mad Mikey Nichols. He's been on Strong.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's happening with the guy, but maybe it's visa stuff. I don't know. Maybe that's the idea. But how does Shane Haste and Bad Dude Tito come in? Maybe I don't know. But what did you think of this match?
I didn't watch it.
Fair enough. I'll say, it was exactly what you read on paper. It was a good match. TMDK looked good. Danger Checkers obviously really good. Very simple match. I feel like. Just fine, good match.
Love the Tekkers.
Yeah, there was also a post-match section where Shane Haste and Zack Sabre Jr. was trying to figure out if they should do a handshake or a fist or a hug. It was very awkward and very cute. Next up, they had a 6-man tag team match. Evil Show and Yujiro Takahashi losing the 6-man. They didn't lose the titles, but the title holders lost against Hikuleo, Hiroshi Tanahashi, and Ryusuke Taguchi. Match here, I didn't think it was that great, but obviously we are building up for an eventual 6-man tag team match. Oh, they already announced it? Perfectly.
Yeah. It is on October 23rd. It's a week from today.
I feel like, and stay with me here, I feel like this was the Hikuleo being in the 6-man tag feels like a backup with Carl Anderson in the Never Openweight title.
Maybe. I mean, Hikuleo has 2 title matches currently on the schedule, so that's a lot.
Yeah, like in case Hikuleo can't, unless Carl won't be there, we'll just have put Hikuleo in a 6-man tag title thing
with Tanahashi and Taguchi, because that makes sense.
Why not? Of course, why not? You gotta respect the Taguchi. The King of Gooch. We got another tag team match here, another World Tag League preview.
Yeah, I do Gooch. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
Another World Tag League preview, but as I sort of speculated, they were also kind of hinting that this might be a momentum into the tag league, but also maybe, momentum into challenging for the tag titles. It was, of course, Jeff Cobb and the Great Okan defeating Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi in a quick little 10-minute match here. Did you watch this match yet? Where did you start watching again?
I watched the Who's Your Daddy match and on.
You gotta watch the Who's Your Daddy match.
Of course I did. I had to watch it. I was so intrigued.
Well, then I'll talk about this. This again was a nice little match here. It was fine. I didn't really get completely into it. Ultimately, there were some underwhelming tag moments between Goto and Yoshihashi. Obviously it was more vibing with Great Okan, vibing with Jeff Cobb.
Poor Great Okan. Tough week for him.
Tough week for the Great Okan.
Lost his friend.
Yeah, well, that's sad as well.
Which we didn't get to talk about, but Kitamura, of course, passed away.
Yeah, that guy, I remember when I was watching him as a young lion, when I was starting to get in New Japan, and it was just like, this guy looks insane.
I saw him in person.
You saw him in person? When?
Yeah,
how?
He came on the New Japan tour. Maybe not. But I remember just seeing this guy, and I was like, oh, he has to be the biggest star in the company.
Yeah.
And it's such a shame that he had to retire.
Well, yeah, he was at the end of his best of 7 series, gotten, I think it was like a motorcycle accident or something, injury, and he was just gone forever, fell off the face of the earth practically.
He was a stud.
He was a stud for sure. He was jacked to the gills. He was still jacked to the gills. I mean,
he was just so different from everyone.
Yeah, that's what was great about him. He just had that look of this. There's the picture of him sitting next to Tanahashi, and you're like, Oh, that guy's the star. That guy. Maybe it's the Vince McMahon thought in my brain of
Yeah.
like, oh, it's the Jack dude. But it was for sure like, holy shit, my eyes draw immediately to that guy.
He was pretty good too.
Yeah, he was for a young lion, pretty good.
For a young lion, he was pretty good.
Next up was a multi-man tag team match. It was, of course, Los Ingobernables de Japan, Bushi, Hiromu Takahashi, Sanada, and Tetsuya Naito defeated the team of Aaron Hanare, Francisco
Let me say the
Akira,
thing. Ready? Can I say the thing?
TJP, and Will Ospreay. Go ahead.
Teton. Thank you.
Yeah, so during the match, a masked man came out, showed up, beat up the heels, and then Bushi was able to pin Akira. So feels like we might be heading to an IWGP Junior Tag Team title match for the maybe World Tag League. We'll have Bushi and Hiromu, maybe not Hiromu. Maybe it's going to be the masked man who revealed his other mask, Teton. You and I love Teton.
Love Teton.
I know Curtis from Okada Shorts loves Teton, so he's all hyped for this. So he invited himself into LIJ. Weirdly enough, they took a vote. They accepted it. He's in it.
Shingo didn't get a vote.
Shingo didn't get a vote, so maybe there's something there. But ultimately, it feels like, I don't know. It feels like we're heading into World Tag League, and it's going to be Bushi and Teton teaming up for the juniors. Does leave Hiromu out of there, so I don't know what's happening.
They probably
there.
want to give him time off. Truthfully, like he had so many injuries over the past couple of years. They're like, you know what? Just don't wrestle.
Well, it's almost like, I guess you could do actually two tag teams. You could do.
He could be heavyweight.
Yeah, you could do.
Ooh,
Naito.
Him and Shingo.
I was Hiromu and Shingo.
They've done Naito and Sonata. That's why I'm just guessing.
I was gonna say Naito and Hiromu, and then Sonata.
Well, that would be
Shingo.
great. I'm just assuming. Listen, no, I want Hiromu with Shingo, and here's why. Naito's gonna have his T-shirt on for like half this tournament at least.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need that. Okay, give me Shingo and Hiromu cooking.
Yeah, but what about the team name of Team Icy Hot? Team Icy Hot, Sonata and Shingo.
That might be worth it alone.
Does the team name sway you alone? Yeah,
man, so they would be so much better than Sonata and Evil, and I liked Sonata and Evil.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's also you gotta give some energy. So maybe Shingo can bring the energy out of Sonata. But it definitely feels like that's what we're setting up for, and I'm excited for it. Look, if this means more Teton in New Japan, I'm into it. I'm into it.
Tetons.
I'm all about the teat. So I cannot wait to see more Teton on the show, and obviously this also means that the CMLL deal is still intact with New Japan. Which,
damn it.
Actually,
no, CML is great.
I was about to say, I was like, damn it, but maybe we can hit Atlantis Jr.
Bring over Stuka Jr.
Stuka Jr. I was going to say Atlantis Jr. You went with
definitely
Stuka.
bring over Atlantis Jr. But
yeah.
Was Stuka Jr. the guy he faced in that main event?
Yes.
That was great. That was a great match.
It was a great match.
Bring over Stuka Jr.
Yeah. Fantastic match. Fantastic match. But yeah, no, I think this whole show is a lot of World Tag League previews, so I can see why a lot of people being like, who cares? So that's fair. But there's something happening. We got Teton.
Teton.
We go to intermission for Declaration Power. When we come back, New Japan unveils a new championship called the New Japan Television title.
No.
Okay.
New Japan World Television title.
New Japan World Television title. My mistake.
Not as a world title. It's actually for New Japan World, their streaming service.
Which is not a TV show. It's a streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
It's so whatever. TV Asahi doesn't get anything. I
have thoughts.
On the title, go right ahead. I was going to say they also announced the tournament to announce the title. The idea being
go through that.
15-minute time limits for all of the matches for the TV title, not just for the tournament, I believe, but for all matches moving forward. And they would like the tournament, not the tournament. The tournament didn't happen like that way, but they would like this title to be more youth focused. So Hopefully, to me, that means it
So
will be, despite the olds going to the tournament. I think it still will be a youth focused title. So I think that's the idea. But go ahead. What were your thoughts on the
they
title?
want it to be a young focused title. So we put Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Tomohiro Ishii, Hiroki Goto, Kenta, you know, the whole list. We put them all in there.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, besides the title looking as it does, which I don't care enough.
Hmm.
I don't care enough because it's just such a nothing title.
Yeah. I remember when
It's
they
a great
announced.
idea.
I remember when they announced the IWGP US title and everyone hated it. I hated the
That thing's
design
a
of it.
thing of beauty.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't think the IWGP World TV title is going to have that effect on me in 5 months.
Mhm.
I don't think it's like awful. If the plate was different, I'd like it better.
You don't
But
like
it
you don't
literally
like
just says
this.
like New Japan World.
You don't like the TV box as the
No,
plate.
no, but I get what they're going for, I guess. What I do like is the idea of it. I think it's great. I said high speed wrestling influences the world once again. And I think this is going to be the closest thing New Japan gets to that.
I agree.
But
I
it's
agree.
going to challenge a lot of wrestlers to be creative in 15 minutes, something that, truthfully, I don't know if we get to see in New Japan nearly enough.
It sounds like also based on already the first 6 matches happening. It's already starting. I'm hearing praise about
Yeah.
Sonata. I'm hearing praise about all these other guys.
Yeah, it's gonna make these guys do something that they don't do. I've watched the first 2 matches. Saber Jr. and Alex Zane had a really solid match. David Finlay and Kanemaru had a solid match. So yeah, it's been a good start. Um, it's a great idea. It's a great addition to your cards moving forward.
Mhm.
So think about this now. On their biggest cards of the year, so Wrestle Kingdom, Dominion, you've now added a 15-minute TV title match
Yep.
and an IWGP Women's title match. You've really
Yeah, I didn't think about
raised
that.
you've really raised up, I think, the New Japan major shows to avoid a lot of those undercards that make like that. At least for me personally, I usually can skip half the cards. Now we're getting to a point where that might not be the case, and that's exciting.
And not just that, but along with this title bout is that they said that this title will be also more frequently defended across these like tour shows. These
Yes,
these shows that just are filtered with multi-man, 6-man, and tag matches, and now going to be having TV title defenses on it as well. Maybe IWGP Women's will also be in there. So now they have something that can get people watching in Japan. Those matches, I believe, also the TV titles will also be free on New Japan World. So you got content for New Japan World that's free and to entice new subscribers. You have short, quick matches that obviously people like. It worked in Stardom. That was the biggest compliment people had. Well, one of the biggest compliments beyond just great matches in the 5-star was shortening the time limit to 15 minutes. People loved it. You have way to sell more tickets possibly on your shows, on your normal shows that aren't big shows, in these smaller towns and whatnot. These smaller towns, I don't know if the ticket market was doing too bad or anything, but you have something.
still New Japan.
Still New Japan. You have something that can sell tickets, probably.
But
Depending.
you could toss it on these Battle Autumn shows.
Exactly. This Battle Autumn tour, I probably wasn't going to watch a single second of it. And guess what? Now there's 6 matches I want to watch, and there are more coming down the pipeline. So let's talk about that tournament real quick. So obviously a tournament was announced, 16-man tournament to host the inaugural New Japan World title. 6 of the matches have already taken place, so we'll talk about those in a second. But we didn't watch all of the matches yet, but we'll get to that. But we also have a bunch of people. So we had David Finlay over Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Alex Zane. So next up, it's going to be Finlay versus Alex Zane. We have Yoshihashi over.
No,
What?
Alex Zane did not win.
Sorry, yes, Finlay versus Zack Sabre Jr. I'm wrong immediately.
Did not win.
I love he's brought him to the tour and then immediately loses. David Finlay versus Zack Sabre Jr. We have Yoshihashi over Jeff Cobb, and then Evil over Aaron Hanari. So it's going to be Yoshihashi.
Oh, Ryan's going to rematch Hashi versus Evil.
They have history. They're actually
They have
not.
history and they have great chemistry.
They have great chemistry, so I'm excited for it. Evil versus Yoshihashi. And then today there was Sonata versus Taichi, or Sonata over Taichi, and then Kenta over Hiroki Goto. So that means we're going to get Sonata versus Kento down the line. And then the other matches that I believe will happening tomorrow will be Ren Narita versus Tomohiro Ishii.
That happened for like a week.
You're right. It's not happening until 10/26. Can't even read, Ryan. Ren Narita versus Tomohiro Ishii. That's a big old circle for me.
Ryan's never read anything.
I've never read anything.
Just keep that series.
I'm not currently reading anything now. This is all from memory. And then we had Great Khan facing Toru Yano. So we'll start there, Scotty, to do a tournament breakdown a little bit.
Yeah.
Ren Narita, Ishii, Great Khan versus Toru Yano. Who are you feeling?
I think you gotta go Ren Narita and Okan. You gotta get the old guys out.
I agree. I think Ren Narita is the current favorite, and I think him getting a win over Ishii will be huge. Huge win. I don't know if he'll get a win over Great Khan, because at the same time, I also feel like this is a pretty good title also to put on Great Khan, honestly.
Kind of a cool thing for him and his style to make it 15 minutes.
Who, Ren Narita or Great Khan?
Well, of course, Ren Narita, but I mean Great Khan. It's very different. Because you get that wrestling base, very grounded, but make it 15 minutes. Whew, could just better him as a wrestler as a whole. So
yeah, I'm into it. And obviously, Great Khan and Toru Yano have.
I still think Ren Narita should win the whole thing.
Yeah, we'll see where we get to that, I guess. Great Khan and Yano obviously has history, so we're both feeling Okan and Ren Narita. I could see a reality where Ren Narita loses just because he's just returned from excursion.
Yeah.
It'd be a big push for somebody to get a win over Ishii. He's old and all this stuff, but, it is Ishii still.
I got a good point. I got a good question for you.
Yeah.
If you have Ren Narita beat Tomohiro Ishii and Great Khan right off the rip.
Yeah.
How can you put him in the junior division?
that is another great point, right? It's very hard.
Beat one of them.
Sure.
But if you beat both,
yeah,
you can't be a junior.
Yeah, which maybe that's the idea of why they were talking about how he is a heavyweight, but he does not look like a heavyweight at all. He looks smaller than some of the juniors.
No, he's like Zach size.
I feel like he's shorter too.
He's shorter, but he's a little thicker than Zach.
I'll have to inspect.
Zach's a string bean, so
I'll have to inspect both of their bodies, I guess.
Sure, go ahead, man.
Do your thing.
Enjoy.
I will. Let's move on. The other that's still on that same side of the bracket, we have, of course, Ren Narita and Great Khan that we're suspecting, but then we also have Sonata versus Kenta. Sonata versus Kento. A lot of praise being shown to Sonata for the 15 minutes.
Goddamn time, baby.
I feel like maybe we found something that will work with Sonata.
Listen, no, Ryan, you shut it over there. You shush for a second. Sonata is a good wrestler. It's just he shouldn't be doing, like, he needs to be pushed to a limit where he's just going. Because when he's going, he's awesome.
Yeah.
When he's not, his style doesn't make sense for it. It just doesn't, right? He's a former X Division wrestler, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
All right? Like, that's what he was at one time.
That's true.
That's his best role. He's best that way. Him wrestling as a heavyweight often is having those drawn out 25, 30-minute matches that you're just kind of like, I would prefer if you didn't do this. I think he's a great wrestler who can use this, like you said, as an advantage. Maybe kick him into a gear where he's almost always like this, which will never happen, but it's nice to dream.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm just looking real quickly. Okay, no, Azube has not been announced for historic crossover yet. I was just wondering. I was like, we could do it.
Sorry, Kid has.
But I was thinking, I was like, ooh, Sonata and Azube as a team. versus somebody, I guess. That could be fun.
She could be like, all right, this is how you're supposed to wrestle, bitch.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, maybe that's the thing, right? We've always talked about how Sonata is somebody that is better at the faster pace. Maybe that's the thing. He cannot really work the heavyweight style of 30-minute, 40-minute classics that is happening because Okada is the guy, right? That's really why it's the case. They're doing all these matches. And Tanahashi's also the guy, but
Tanahashi's a little different.
Yeah. Tanahashi's a little different. He also did a little bit shorter matches, but Okada is definitely the one that made the 30, 45-minute classic a popular thing. So that's what they went with, and I understand why. Maybe that's the thing, is Sonata just needs to be the Azame of New Japan, right? I mean, I think that's just the idea.
Bad role.
And that's not a bad role. That's what he could use. So we'll see. Sonata over Kenta, is that what we're feeling?
Yeah, he's a younger one.
There we go. We'll go with the youth.
That's how my analysis is working this time.
Ren Narita versus Great-O-Khan. Do we feel like Ren Narita is going to beat Ishii and Great-O-Khan?
I think he should.
I don't think he will. I
don't think he will, but I think he should. So I'm gonna go with my heart instead of my gut.
Okay, I'm going with the gut. So I'm going to say it's my opinion. It will be Sonata versus Great-O-Khan.
Go with the gut too much. You watch NWA because of that.
I haven't watched NWA in months. don't say that against me.
You watch Impact though.
Yeah, that is true.
And Impact's running Bobby Fish and Bully Ray.
This is fact.
In world title matches.
Yeah, I know. I'm not. Well, Impact and me are currently on a break. To be fair.
We were on a break.
Sonata. I'm saying Sonata versus Great-O-Khan. You're saying Sonata versus Ren Narita. Now, do you have Ren Narita beating Ishii, Great-O-Khan, and now Sonata? He's thinking. He's really thinking about it.
I mean, Sonata's so good in this form. It's almost like it would make sense if you gave him the belt in a lot of ways. I think the win, if this is the match, the winner of this wins the tournament.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. Who's the winner of this match? Oh, he's thinking. I'll allow you some time with my thoughts. So
Ren Narita.
Oh, Ren Narita going off the Wrestle Kingdom to face somebody. Oh, I can't wait. This is your.
I'd actually be upset if you lost.
This would be your Ibushi moment for the New Japan Cup. It's like Ibushi.
I was right. He just wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
I'll say
he's still not ready, but he wasn't then. I miss him.
Me too.
He's doing well.
Me too. Sonata versus Great-O-Khan.
You're going with Sonata.
Yeah.
Sonata versus Zack Sabre Jr. That's what you're going with.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that or the other block. Maybe I'll can reconsider when it comes to the other block, but I'm gonna go with Great-O-Khan actually. I'm gonna mix it up and go for and maybe Sonata.
I could see them give it to Great-O-Khan now after his friend passed away.
I could see that. There's also the idea of Sonata in the U.S. title picture that I feel like there needs to be some sort of resolve.
Nope. There was. Ospreay beat his ass.
That's true. That is true. Beat his ass pretty well.
Speaking of which, who's going to face Ospreay?
Naito.
That's like at the end of this tour.
I know.
At Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, that's a good point. Master Wato, is he available? No.
No, he's not actually. He has a match at Wrestle Kingdom already.
Maybe
which was supposed to be Kushida, and people are not talking about that enough.
Maybe it's Sonata. Maybe it's a returning Ibushi. I don't know.
Oh my god,
that would be insane. You and I would both lose our minds if it was an Ibushi return. You and I would go, oh! And they announce it as an X, so you don't know until the day of.
And it's not Coda, it's Kenny Omega.
It's not Kenny Omega, it's Cody. Ah!
Oh!
It's not Cody, but it's LA Knight. Yeah!
Ah! Yeah! Yeah!
It's not any of those, it's Kenji Muto. Yeah, baby!
Oh, well, that's actually just a great choice.
That's just a solid choice. That's not a joke. That's
Who's going to give Will Ospreay the greatest match of his life? Keiji Muto. Not the other way around.
Exactly right. On the other side of the bracket, we got David Finlay versus Zack Sabre Jr.
I'd have CSJ win.
I'm gonna do Finlay only because Zack Sabre Jr. is gonna be in World.
Love to fight.
One, he loves to fight. Two, Zack Sabre Jr. is in World Tag League. He can easily be a challenge.
What about Sonata?
Oh, Sonata's not winning World Tag.
What about Great O'Khan?
That's a good point too.
Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan could win Tag League.
That's true. That is true. I'm still going with Great O'Khan.
Aussie Open.
Well, because the option is he losing to Toriano, and I can't believe in that. I can't live in that world. That's a great point. I'm still gonna go.
I mean,
Finlay.
you gave the point. I just went off of it.
That's
and
fair.
Gave you all the other options.
That's fair. I'm still gonna go with Great O'Khan, and I'm still gonna go.
David Finlay.
Oh God, yeah. Because
at Wrestle Kingdom, that's the match.
David Finlay versus Great O'Khan at Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, just kill the title now.
Well, I'm not saying he's winning that side. Let's discuss that again. I'm gonna go Finlay right now. You're saying Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
We also have Yoshihashi versus Evil. I'm gonna go.
Hell yeah!
I'm gonna go Yoshihashi. I'm gonna go Yoshihashi. You got
Evil's younger, so I'm going Evil.
You gotta believe in your dreams, so I'm gonna go with Yoshihashi as the old man in the group.
Yoshihashi versus Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah, so so I have David Finlay versus Yoshihashi, a classic match that everyone's excited for.
Jesus Christ.
And you have Evil versus Zack Sabre Jr. I'm gonna go. I guess I am going Finlay on this one.
Picking Zack.
That's a smart idea. So we have.
Is it?
So our Wrestle Kingdom match here for
Mine's
me,
a lot better than yours.
David Finlay versus Great O'Khan, which it's not too bad.
No, don't lie.
Come on, don't Ariel Helwani me. And then you have.
I said I'm talking in absolute the rest of this time.
That's true. You have Zack Sabre Jr. versus, I believe it was Ren Narita.
Yeah, you're welcome, everybody, for giving you an actual match worth your time.
Now, is Ren Narita going to beat Ishii, Great O'Khan, Sonata, and now ZSJ?
No, probably not.
He's probably losing there. Do you put the title on? And this would be Zack Sabre Jr.'s first New Japan singles title?
What a slap in the face, huh? I could also see Zack be the one to face Ospreay at the Kingdom.
Does it change anything if I tell you that Zack Sabre Jr. is 35?
I don't know. Everyone's old in this except for like David Finlay and Ren Narita. So
yeah, that's true. Your match is definitely pretty good.
You want Yano in the finals?
Now we're talking. I want Yano to steal the belt at the last second. That's what I want. That's the dream I want to live in. Let's move on. Next up, we had a singles match. It was supposed to be Kushida versus Taiji Shimura, but Kushida couldn't make it because he's still dealing with hand, foot, mouth disease. Here we though had Master Wato.
How's your hand, foot, mouth?
What?
How's your hand, foot, mouth?
Yes.
My mouth is terrible. Thank you for asking.
My hand's
pretty good.
Hand's pretty fine. Pretty good. Foot could be better. I'll be honest. Master Wato took Kushida's place here, and he got an upset victory over Taiji Ishimori. So before we get to the post-match stuff, what do you think of? Oh no, you didn't watch this match because you watched the Who's Your Daddy.
It's not Who's Your Daddy, so I didn't watch it.
Master Wato looks fine. He doesn't look bad anymore, I'll say.
Good.
But maybe it was being in the ring of Taiji Ishimori. I don't know. But he doesn't feel like he's bad anymore. He's definitely improved. but and obviously getting the big upset win is the really pushing him hard. But it was definitely this was a pretty good match. I'll say I really thought this was a pretty good match. Master Wato stepped up. He's getting pushed, so he had to, and I think he did as much as he could at the moment. Taiji Ishimori looked fine. It wasn't a great Taiji Ishimori match, so it was definitely one where he was slacking a bit, but
Those are rare.
still
nowadays.
pretty good. That's also true. But then the post match was Master Wato. He grabs the microphone. He's about to challenge for the title. But who comes out? Hiromu Takahashi. Hiromu comes out. And he says, no. I don't want you challenging for that title. And then El Desperado comes out, flicks Hiromu in the eyeball, and then grabs the microphone. Could not believe Master Wato won. We get a whole schmoz. Taiji Ishimori makes it official at Wrestle Kingdom. It's been officially stated by New Japan itself. At Wrestle Kingdom, it's going to be Taiji Ishimori defending his title against Hiromu Takahashi, Master Wato, and El Desperado.
Happy we're back to the multi-man junior heavyweight matches at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, baby. Let's get into it. Don't forget, one night. We all wanted one night Wrestle Kingdom. This is also what we get, I guess.
No one forget that this was supposed to be Kushida.
Yeah, I wonder if it was going to be Kushida, Hiromu,
it was
Despy,
absolutely
and
Kushida.
Yeah, that makes sense. That certainly makes sense.
Saddens me a lot.
And now Kushida has nothing to do at Wrestle Kingdom, and Master Wato is taking his place. Hey, big spot for him. Big spot for the guy. Let's see how he does. KOPW trophy and Who's Your Daddy match. Shingo Takagi defeats El Phantasmo. Again, this was just sort of a normal match.
Shingo Takagi is El Phantasmo's daddy.
Yeah, it was a normal match up until the ending, where El Phantasmo had to reluctantly say that Shingo is his daddy. And that is true. He had a pacifier and everything. What do you think of this match?
That was pretty good.
Yeah. It wasn't as good as their G1 match, for sure.
No.
It wasn't as good as that, which is, to me, a disappointment. Especially.
Yeah, but anytime this cup's involved, I don't get my hopes up.
Well, the good news is the cup is destroyed. The trophy's been destroyed. So.
Thank God.
And I feel like
he's defending it again.
Who? Shingo?
Shingo against El Phantasmo on Rumble at 44th Street.
Ooh.
Here in the US of A.
Ooh. Is it the Halloween show or the Rumble show? Oh, no, it is against El Phantasmo.
I just said Rumble on 44th Street.
I don't.
Not the night before.
They're both called Rumble on 44th Street. One just is called the night before.
I would have called it that because I have names correct, Ryan.
I don't read. You know this about
me. That's right.
You can't make fun of me because I don't know how to read.
Okay, but I told you didn't have to read anything.
And when I'm mad, I do jazz hands. We all know this.
He just became Jay White.
Too sweet. Anyways, I thought this match was fine as well. I thought it was pretty good. It just, to me, wasn't as good as the G1 match. So I thought there was some disappointment there. But yeah, Who's Your Daddy stuff. Whatever. I'm interested to see. I guess the idea is, since we're doing it in New York, that the heightened and better match will be in New York, whatever that may be. Maybe it'll be like Who's Your Baby match. Anyways, we'll do a Who's Your Daddy match, but do it like an I Quit match, where they say, Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy?
Singles match. Kazuchika Okada defeated Jonah. Real throwback to yesteryear here. As obviously everyone has already talked about. But what did you think about this special singles match?
Oh, I thought this was excellent. Jonah has been hit or miss for me in New Japan, but when he goes against Okada, shocking. I know, shocking. He's excellent. He's great as that big time heel who kind of throws Okada around. And Okada's so good at wrestling these bigger guys. He doesn't get to do it nearly enough because they just don't have them. But man, he is so good at being that baby face and working himself back and fighting back. And it was absolutely fantastic stuff. I loved every bit of it. I thought it was the best match on the night. Even though I did think the main event was great, which we'll get to in a second. But spoiler alert, I did think the main event was great. Jonah, I don't want him to go back to WWE. I think he has a spot here. He really does. He's earned it. He's the Japanese fans take to him
Yep.
as a heel.
Yeah.
And that's very important. But Okada getting it done the way he did, it was excellent. I mean, I watched this so many days ago now because it's on Monday.
Yep.
But I do remember how good it was, and that Okada looks like he's in top form once again.
Yeah. It definitely feels like, Okada, we're ramping up into Wrestle Kingdom. Obviously we have tours and stuff in between then. But it definitely feels like Okada's like, okay, here we go, ramping up. Jonah, like you said, I don't want him to go to NXT. I don't want him to go to the main roster WWE. We're hearing these rumors, hearing these ideas, but we're still making TMDK a thing, which is good. I like TMDK. There's the belief that they'll be in World Tag League. Without Jonah, that would be weird, maybe. But then Jonah is also maybe Jonah's not then in World Tag League. That seems weird, maybe. Jonah is just, he's the old. We said this is an old school throwback match, and Jonah in New Japan as a whole is an old school throwback. To those big dudes, and
closer to Vader than anyone, really.
And I love Vader, and I love me a Vader.
Vader was better.
Yeah, I agree.
Obviously.
But Jonah's still great. Jonah's still great. And he just fits perfectly in this company. He'll obviously be a different beast in WWE if he ever goes there, if he goes back there. But this company feels like it fits like a glove for him.
Yeah.
If he leaves, I would be upset, but I'll also be like, I would also have appreciated the time we got with him in New Japan. But if he stays, belt him up, baby. You gotta belt him up with something because this guy is a beast, and I'm loving what I'm seeing with him. He is so good.
Never open weight champ.
100% screams that. Screams easy challengers for the IWGP title.
And Shingo just beefing it up.
Woo. Woo. God, him and Shingo.
The only bad thing about him not going back to WWE is we can't yell tsunami when he hits this big splash.
Yeah, what do they call it there? I forget what they called it.
I forget what they call it. Typhoon? It's Typhoon?
They did move Wade Barrett to SmackDown. And he was the one in NXT doing that call. Yeah. He was the guy calling the Typhoon or whatever.
It was only a good call.
I'm worried. I'm worried about Jonah. But, hey, money is money, brother, I guess. I don't know.
Bronson Reed.
Bronson Reed. Jonah is such a better name, though. It's just Jonah. So simple. But this match was great.
Name.
That is also his name. That's also true. This match is great. I thought this match was fantastic. For me, this is the match of the show easily.
Yeah.
Main event, IWGP World Heavyweight Title match. Jay White defeated Tama Tonga in a 31 minutes and 7 seconds. I felt this match was very long, but
well, it was long.
It was very long, yeah. Tama Tonga's got that connection with the audience. I never thought he was going to win, obviously, and he's got the connection with the audience. They're super behind him. There was that one spot where it was like they really sold it. But obviously it didn't, it wasn't fruition for Tama Tonga. So I thought this was, albeit the length, I thought this was a pretty good match. I really enjoyed it. What did you think?
I thought it's my favorite Tama Tonga singles match. I don't necessarily love all of them to begin with, but this one really fed off that connection with the crowd. It fed off what he's really been able to create as the lone wolf kind of thing, right? With Tangaloa out, he's had no other choice but to be this guy. Yeah. And it actually made me upset that they didn't keep the never open weight on him because I think there was still potential with that. Jay White is truly a master at what he does. I just think
I agree.
I know some people don't like it, but I just think he's so good at it. He's so good at being that prick throughout these matches, and it just makes the moments where the babyface at least nearly overcomes the attack that much better. I think Jay is as good as he's ever been, and I think we are on our way to a classic Wrestle Kingdom main event now.
Yeah, Jay White, Okada. It's been made official at Wrestle Kingdom. It's happening, folks, in January. Definitely feels like it's gonna be a quarter win, but we'll see how everything shakes out.
Listen, I didn't think Jay White was going to win the title to begin with, so
That's
I have
fair.
no idea.
That's
I'm not going
fair.
to act like I know.
It definitely.
I think it's an Okada win, especially with it being a Noki
I was just about to say that. Yeah.
show, but you never know.
You never know. You never know.
If Kota Ibushi were to come back, I think they could, which he's not. But if he said he was going to come back, I could see them hold off for a Jay White Kota Ibushi rematch,
Mhm.
which of course, big favorite of Ryan Knight's here.
You got it. You got it.
It was his match of the year in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, that feels so long ago. I was like, was that 2020?
Well, to be fair, it's January 4th, 2021.
Yeah,
It feels even longer.
Yeah.
Let's move on. I thought that was a great show. Let's talk about AAA, Triplemania, XXX, Mexico City.
Yeah, the show I got to watch one match of because I felt like shit last night, and I still kind of feel like shit today. But I did watch the one match that mattered for me the most.
Yeah, which was
Phoenix versus Hijo de Vikingo.
Yeah, let's talk about the two main events first because I feel like that's where we're going to dive into most of conversation.
Probably that matters the most.
Exactly. So let's talk about that semi-main AAA mega title, El Hijo del Vikingo.
Matches are never the main event.
I know.
I know why this wasn't, obviously, but like they never get to main.
Did you? So Vikingo defeats Rey Fenix. Did you feel like? Maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe it's because it's on Vikingo and AAA really loves the fact, and Mexico really loves the fact that he was number 8 in the PWI. Apparently, like it's like legit. They're like, holy shit, he's awesome.
He is.
Did the presentation of the belt, presentation of this match, feel to you like this is the most important the mega title has ever felt?
Yeah, it did.
Despite Omega, despite all these other guys, this felt like a huge moment.
Like if the main event had originally supposed to be like Psycho Clown versus someone, for example, just take that as for instance. I do think that they would, and it wasn't Mask versus Mask. Also, very important because I understand why this wasn't the main event.
Yeah.
Then I think they would have moved this there because this title never main events ever.
Yeah,
just doesn't happen. But I agree. It felt more important than I think I've ever seen this belt have. Like, this was his first defense on any of the Triplemania shows.
Mm-hmm.
They had 3 Triplemania shows, and he was in a Fatal 5-Way, which was fantastic. And I don't even remember what he did the other time. You find the Young Bucks?
Yes.
Which wasn't that good.
I think it wasn't that good. I think that was a Triplemania. I'm looking it up right now.
That was his first triplet. I think he did. So he did main event a match or one of these shows.
So Triplemania Tijuana was the he was in the AAA World Cruiserweight title and Latin American title 5-way match where that Phoenix won. That Phoenix won. And then at Monterrey, he was in the Young Bucks match with Vikingo and Phoenix versus the Young Bucks.
Yeah, well, letdown. That should have been like the greatest match of all time. And it wasn't. If you did an AEW ring, it would be.
That's probably true. But yeah, no, this match itself.
Yano was not here. Stop saying that.
Yano, this match was fantastic. Vikingo and Phoenix, exactly what you thought it would be. a great classic lucha libre match. Spots all over the place. We got blood running out of Phoenix's skull and a little bit out of Vikingo's. Just insane setups and spots to the closing finish. Vikingo, they do like a top rope poison rana, I think it was, or something like that.
Yeah.
Lands awfully, screws up his spine, screws up his tailbone, and then is like really selling the idea. I was like, oh man, can this guy still move? Gets up, super kicks Phoenix, does the fastest run ever to do a running Meteora, and then drops him to do a inside out 450. It's just like, and then he's limping to the back. It's like, holy shit, this guy Vikingo, he is insane. Phoenix, great wrestler, obviously in his own right, putting out insane spots. I guess reverse. What's it called? Not Phoenix Splash. A reverse. Oh, what's it called? I forget what it is, but he had great spots too. Just this match was unbelievably insane, lucha. What'd you think of it?
These two are two of my top 5 luchadors in the world. And the match had, in terms of satisfaction, it delivered, right? Like, you see these two on paper, you're like, all right, here we go. Like, these two are going to have nothing short of a great match, and that's what they did. I think they even raised it in some ways of how crazy they went. These two can do things that no one else can do, which I think is a little bit underappreciated almost when it comes to someone like a Ray Phoenix, especially because, we see him more than Vikingo. So it's like, you kind of forget. And I think that's he's starting to get that Rey Mysterio feeling, if that makes sense. That you kind of you don't appreciate what he's doing all the time, but you should, because he's special.
Yeah.
And I mean, Vikingo's special, but Vikingo's also 24 years old. Like, this guy, he's just getting started. And he still has a lot to work on, I actually think. Not in terms of aerial stuff. He's nailed that. He's got that down. I'm not worried about that. But even like in terms of emotion and stuff like that, like, he can work his way towards that. He does also have the interesting thing that he is so young and he doesn't have a mask to work with. Right? Like, most of the best, like, out of my top 5 luchadors in the world, everyone else has a mask.
Yeah.
Everyone else has a mask. And that adds something, right? So he's kind of working in a different way, but he's just tremendous. He's a tremendous talent. If you want to just talk natural talents in terms of in-ring stuff, he's got to be top 10, right? Just in terms of what he can do. Because no one else can do what he does. And no one else can do what Ray Phoenix does. And you felt that in this match when they did what they did. Terrific stuff. Best match of all AAAs, all Triple Manias, AAA, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This match in the Fatal 5-Way, which also involved both of them, right?
Yep.
Best 2 matches of AAA. Oh my god, Triple Mania. The first show was terrible, so don't even watch that. But if you're looking for something to get yourself into AAA, watch these two from the 2 Triple Manias. It's just nonstop action. This was fantastic stuff. Probably the Lucha Libre match of the year.
It's good. It's good conversation. I think
the CMLL main event is in that conversation.
I was about to say that's certainly in the conversation as well. A reverse Spanish fly. That is what I was trying to think of.
Yeah,
that was a great spot. Yeah, no, like, I'm seeing people talk about how, and obviously I wasn't around back then. Well, I was, but I was 1 year old. talking about how Vikingo is like giving off Rey Mysterio '97 vibes.
For sure.
And I kind of get that idea. I've always pushed back against the idea of Rey Fenix being the next Rey Mysterio because I don't get Rey Mysterio when I watch Rey Fenix. I get like Rey Fenix. I get his own person.
Yeah, Rey Fenix does stuff Rey Mysterio never did.
Like I love the idea.
just get my comparison was that they're on TV.
No,
Rey Mysterio became underappreciated when he was on TV.
I agree. And for AEW, I've always talked about how my AEW Rey Mysterio comp is not Phoenix, but rather Dante Martin. Which, well, I say that because just like Vikingo, Dante, well, just like Rey Mysterio, Dante Martin, and Vikingo, all three of them, what they feel like they have in common is that they all feel very innovative in their aerial offense. It feels like I'm seeing stuff I've never seen before when I watch all three of these guys wrestle. I'm not saying that any of the luchadors not doing these things, but it really feels like it when it comes to specifically aerial offense, and I get that vibe. And boy howdy, Vikingo coming to America. They announced the Arizona show that they're doing. Vikingo apparently has a visa. You bring him into AEW, and you want to showcase Vikingo, Mr. Tony Khan? Whew, baby, Vikingo and Dante Martin. Think about it. Everyone's talking about Lucha.
Dante Martin way too much.
I am.
Like anytime he gets a big spot, I think he lets me down.
I disagree. I'm always into it. I'm always into Dante Martin, but maybe that's also a good match for Dante Martin to lose is against Vikingo.
You're only getting him versus Jungle Boy. To be fair, it'd be pretty good. Well, you hate Jungle Boy the character, but Jungle Boy's at least if there's anything he's good at, it's that part.
No, if anything, we're gonna get Vikingo versus Matt Sydal. That's probably what we're gonna get.
No, that's a big letdown.
That match
Matt Sydal's good.
It's gonna be a good match. It's gonna be a good match. But
if I got to book, I would just run this back.
I mean, that's also true. You run this back.
Why not? You have both of them.
You do the ECW classic of, that works somewhere else? Okay, let's just run it here. It definitely feels like Vikingo's on the cusp of breaking out huge in America. As soon as he gets to America, we're going to start seeing that tour around America, and we're going to start seeing that stock rise even higher for Vikingo.
Who are your 5 best luchadors?
Of all time?
No. Now. Why would I say all time?
All right, of all time, Blue Demon Jr.
You're just gonna pull out like all these guys and be like, not at all what I asked.
Phoenix for sure. Vikingo for sure. I'm looking at the list just to remember names. Bandito is 3. I'm just trying to remember names. Pentagon, yeah, I'll say Pentagon. I love the main event, which we'll get to. I already said Vikingo, right?
Yes.
So I have 4.
Yes. You have 4 of my 5.
Who am I feeling?
Respect him.
Roman Reigns, number 5, the all-time luchador.
I didn't say acknowledge him.
I feel like I'm forgetting someone obvious, but Taurus. Taurus.
Oh, that's a good one.
I like Taurus a lot. I'm a big Taurus
guy. The answer was Dragon Lee, but that's
shit. Dragon Lee is also fucking great. God damn it. Oh, Teton. Let's throw Teton.
Taurus is great though. Atlantis Jr.
Teton.
I need to see more CML.
Desperado, technically, I guess. Is he a luchador? I don't know.
I don't get this. Tarus was a great shout. I actually forgot about him.
Yeah, Tarus is great. Laredo Kid's also really good.
Laredo Kid's good. Commander's going to be that good.
Commander has. No, I did not watch his Glee match.
Oh my god! I think
Commander has early Vikingo vibes. Like 5 years from now, he'll be great.
Yeah, the Korakuen crowd was like, "What am I watching?" Because he did the rope walk.
Yeah.
and took everyone out, and I was like, oh my god. And Bandito's incredible.
Yeah,
Bandito is like,
he's amazing.
he might be my one because he does everything great.
I
Like,
know.
he does power great. He flies. He just does everything.
He's a cool, nice dude.
Yeah, Lucha Libre is great when you could hear it too.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll get to those production issues. Main event as well was the finals of the roulette wheel of mask death, mask versus mask match tournament. Pentagon Jr. versus Villano 4. It was what we were all expecting. Pentagon Jr. got the win, which means Villano 4 lost his mask. He is now Tomas Mendoza.
Kinko's going to JCW, isn't he?
We'll get to that. I'll say brought it up after this main event. Well, maybe we should bring it up now because it would probably fit better. Let's bring it up now.
I hate wrestling.
So post match Vikingo is that he's cutting a press conference stuff, and he gets jumped by 3 guys: Gringo Loco, a guy we have already previously seen in AAA, teaming up with Sam Adonis, all these other people, but then also Joey Janela and Alex Colon. I believe Alex Colon wearing a GCW shirt. I see what you're saying, that it feels like he's going to go to GCW. Lucha Blog disagrees. He believes this is an angle specifically for AAA because they did it on AAA soil. I wouldn't be surprised if he does a match in GCW, but this feels like more or less Vikingo going to America and that's he does a GCW tour. It feels more like GCW invades AAA.
This might be worse.
This
might be worse than what I thought.
The irony of all weekend long people going to this and saying that AAA is Mexican GCW and it's booked similarly and performs similarly in some aspects. The idea of that, and then having GCW invade AAA. Brett Lauderdale was also there. He posted a picture of him with Vikingo. So this feels like GCW invades AAA. What do you feel about the third promotion in America battling over AAA in Mexico?
I wish it was New Japan Strong. I fucking hate this. I hate every bit of this. I don't want to see any of those matches.
You're telling me,
and the worst part,
Vikingo versus Gringo Loco will be good at the very least.
Yeah.
And then from there, and then from there, I don't know.
Him versus Alex Colon couldn't make less sense. Let's just say that. Conan said that he asked Kenny Omega to do a video for whoever won that mega match.
Yep.
And he can't because of legal reasons. And if this was their plan B, then I don't think I could trust AAA. If they said, okay, we can't get Kenny Omega, let's get Gringo Loco, Joey Janela, and Alex Colon. Do you hear that? Do you hear what I just said? That's awful.
Let's try to come up with the best Vikingo GCW match that we can think of.
Vikingo versus Commander.
I don't think that counts.
It does. They both wrestle in GCW.
I'm gonna. Can I throw you some names?
Vikingo versus Speedball.
I think our audience.
You're welcome for that, by the way. PWG. You're welcome.
That's a PWG match right there. I'm gonna throw out some names because I feel like our listeners specifically will love your reactions to these ideas. Guys,
I hate you.
We'll start off with the only contract talent, Vikingo versus Nick Gage.
Fuck no. No, just imagine, okay? Just imagine that for 5 seconds. Vikingo's doing all his shit. Nick Gage is like, ugh. Do you watch House of the Dragon?
No, I do not watch House of the Dragon.
All right, well, then this is completely useless.
Are you talking about the guy with the gold mask?
Yes, that would be Nick Gage trying to wrestle Vikingo. Anyways, continue. Right, Nick Gage, great fellow it seems, but no, please don't.
Obviously maybe the heart of GCW, Vikingo versus Jordan Oliver.
I hate wrestling.
How about this one? This one might cheer you up. Maybe no one really knows what's happening with his contract status.
I don't believe you.
No one really knows what's happening with his contract status. Hold on. No one really knows what's happening with his contract status, but he's definitely the third most GCW shows on Cage Match. Vikingo versus Nick Wayne.
That could be beast.
That could be beast. Now, what about this? Vikingo versus Effie. Thoughts? We'll rapid fire this.
I wish I had none.
Vikingo versus Jimmy Lloyd. Thoughts?
No.
Vikingo versus Tony Deppen.
Maybe.
Vikingo versus Blake Christian.
That would be crazy.
Vikingo versus Alley Catch.
All right. Well.
Vikingo versus Ninja
See
Mac.
You guys.
Vikingo versus Ninja Mac. My last one on the plate. My last one on the plate here.
See you guys.
Yeah. Not jazzed about it here, as you can tell.
And versus Gringo Loco will be pretty good.
I think that has potential to be good. I'm just worried that it'll be...
I can't believe they sent Psycho Clown to GCW, and what they get back is Gringo Loco, Joey Janela, and Alex Colon.
I mean, arguably, Gringo is the connection to the AAA because he's already been there. I get that. But then arguably, who are the biggest stars of GCW? It's probably Joey Janela, the guy who just came off of AEW television, and Alex Colon is also like huge in Japan. So yeah. I get why they picked him. Who else are you gonna pick? You gonna put Effie and Jimmy Lloyd in there? No, but what it is, I guess. Let's move on to the main event, which was Pentagon Jr. defeated Villano 4. Villano 4 unmasked. He's now Tomas Mendoza. This match was, you didn't watch this match, and I'll describe it to you.
I didn't get a chance to watch it. I will watch it.
Great match.
I know you're saying great that I was going to watch it. I was like, thanks, man.
I'm jazzed that you're going to see this match because this match was great. Now Villano 4, he's old. He's not, doing, insane bumps or anything. That was Pentagon's job, so he carried that in that way. But it was what Villano 4 has been doing all of AAA of these mask versus mask matches, which is just he's an old dude going out there, throwing shoot punches, bleeding all over the place. Just he looks like an old man who's just beating the shit out of another person. And I loved it. He did shoot headbutts into Villano 4 did shoot headbutts into the pole, into the turnbuckle post. He went through a table. He took obviously a lot of shots to the head overall. Pentagon Jr. was gushing blood in this match. That picture that's going around of Pentagon Jr. with his with Villano's 4 mask in his hand, insane looking image. Pentagon was looking like that for most of the match. Pentagon did great work as well. Obviously not as great as the heights of Vikingo and Phoenix. If you're looking for that lucha style, you'll get that here. But if you're looking for just an all-out brawl with the old guy beating the shit out of the young guy and the young guy doing the same to the old guy, at one point they stopped the match, shook hands with each other, and then just went back to fist punching each other. It was just like boom, 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 boom. Just very solid stuff. Great stuff. I really liked it a lot. I thought it was great. And then of course, you get that lucha thing of Villano 4 lost his match and his mask. So great things for Pentagon. Great little thing to give to Pentagon here. They did a lot of cool callbacks as well. Obviously, I didn't know the callbacks, so I read them online. But they did the clutch pin that Villano 4, I believe it was, used to take Blue Panther's mask. They did, which was fun, which is very fun. They did that, and then Pentagon also did it on Villano 4. Didn't work. He picks him up and puts him up into the backbreaker, the Argentinian backbreaker, but that's on the side, which is Atlantis's finishing move that One, I thought it was funny because call back to the Atlantis Junior finish because that's his finishing move, but also call back to Atlantis, who that's the move that he used to take Viano 3's mask, if I'm not mistaken. So we got callbacks in the match. We are reversing callbacks. We got callbacks to stuff that happened a couple months ago. A lot of bloody warfare. Great work was had by all. Great spots. No real bullshit or anything in there unlike other matches in this card. But ultimately, this match was great. I really, really enjoy this. This is, the main, the semi-main, the title match is definitely a must-watch. To me, this is also a must-watch, Scotty. So yes, I am excited you'll be watching this match.
Hey, WrestleNomics is reporting day one's been canceled.
What? What am I gonna do January 1st now?
Sorry to cut you off there, but I know it's in Atlanta, so I had to laugh.
That's so
no,
funny.
that sounds great though. I
That's
can't wait
so
to watch it. Just the images alone, but good thing that you told me the callbacks, so I'll keep an eye out for them.
It's
Not that
it's like
I have any connection to them.
The clutch, yeah, no, me neither. But it's cool to learn. The clutch was is a I don't know the proper name of it, but it was basically like an octopus stretch that you turn into a pin.
Oh,
Yeah, very good. You'll see it as soon as it happens.
duh, because I'm watching it.
Great match. Love this match.
That's
Definitely go check it out. Yeah, great stuff.
And then the rest of the show.
So, do you want to walk me through the rest of the show? So, give me a moment. Give me a moment to catch my breath.
If you give me a moment to find the card,
I'll talk about day one. Day one, a Nick Khan idea that just didn't work. COVID ruined the main event. It sold fairly well, and I don't think
the main event was great.
The main event was great. I don't think the tickets were on even sale yet, so I wonder what the reason was for cutting the show. But that also makes me think that maybe it wasn't a Nick Khan idea. Maybe it was a Vince McMahon idea to cut the show and not do it on day one. Not do it on January 1st. That seems interesting to me. But I guess we'll see. But in the meantime, I'm also seeing that it's not only was day one canceled, but now there are no PLEs in between Survivor Series November 26th and Royal Rumble January 28th. So I imagine there'll still be there'll still be something that replaces day one. It just won't be day one. Maybe it's still in Atlanta. Who the heck knows?
Yeah. So here we go. I don't think did the Copa Bar Doll air?
No, the first two matches did not air to the people.
Didn't air to Roots in any way, shape, or form.
No, but Jack Evans was in it, so he's back in AAA. That's fun.
Not to me, but all right.
Oh no, sorry, I'm looking at Cage Match. There was another match before the Copa. I don't remember what it was, but they didn't air that. They started with
wrestled in that too.
Yes. Oh, it was the Marvel match. Which apparently there was a really bad, nasty injury that happened to the Hulk wrestler. Hulk. Yeah, the Hulk wrestler. But it was a really apparently a legit stretcher job out of there. So it was really
terrible.
But yeah, they started
being the Hulk means.
He was green.
I'm sorry. He got hurt. Yeah. I'm so sorry. But anyway, the AAA World Tag Team Title #1 contendership fatal 4-way match. You had Arez and Willie Mack versus Commander, and I don't know how to say his name, Miss Tizez Jr. Yeah, I tried.
Sure.
My tongue is killing me right now. Versus the Los Vipers, Latico and Toxin, and Hermanos Lee, Dragon Lee and Trilistico, with them winning. So the right people won.
Yeah, no. As you can also see there, 9 minutes. This was a short ass match. Okay, so let me break this down. The match started, and then we start with what has been happening with Willie Mack in AAA, which is his lucha gimmick in California. Starting the match, the first 30 seconds to a minute of him doing a dance by himself in the match. It was fun. Crowd loved it. He was dancing, all that stuff. Then we do some stuff. We blow some spots. Commander does his rope walk, screws it up, tries it again, kind of gets it, and then does a shooting star, I think, off of it. So kind of blows the spot a little bit. But, it's a tough spot. I don't blame him. and then Dragon Lee and Jessica just kind of win, and then that's the match. It was really disappointing, a really disappointing match. You know, you can watch it and stuff, but the beginning of the match leaves much to be desired. The match itself was sort of disappointing. You wanted to be more action. It really wasn't for me.
Sure.
And then post match. So one of the sponsors of AAA is this like pharmacy, like the logo. They saw it on the referee shirts. I don't remember if it was the referee in the title match, but referee shirts. There's like a picture of like an old man, like logo. This is pharmacy. You probably saw it in the background as well. So apparently, recently in AAA, for that sponsor, they've been giving out dolls of the mascot for the pharmacy, and they've been, as a showing a sign of appreciation, they've been throwing the dolls into the ring.
Oh my god!
So that happened during the show, really, or maybe a staged bit. They did a bit that happened. The old guy's in it. Willie Mack's like, "What is this?" And then you hear some voice from God speaking, and everyone Willie Mack's what's happening. And then a bunch of dolls of the old man mascot come out, fall from the sky onto Willie Mack. The mascot himself comes out from the entrance and challenges Willie Mack to a dance-off. The guy can move. The guy can move. But they do a dance-off, and that's the post-match of this multi-man. Is a mascot of a pharmacy and Willie Mack dancing. If you're gonna watch it, you gotta watch it because it's fucking insane. It's so I could not believe what was happening. It's like, what is happening? It was unbelievable. But yeah, the match itself left some stuff to be desired for sure.
All right, the AAA World Trios title match. You had Brian Cage, Johnny Caballero, and Sam Adonis defeating the Nueva Generacion, Dinamita, and the team of Bandito, Laredo Kid, Psycho Clown. Well, that's upsetting. Why did they have to lose? That was my team.
If I'm not mistaken, I think the women's title match would actually happen. I don't know why Cage match has it listed differently.
Well, you're talking about this one.
Oh, yeah, well, I am talking about this one. This match was pretty good.
To say it.
I like this match. People don't like it. The finish was bad. But I thought, it's Bandito, Laredo Kid, Psycho Clown. There was some good, solid lucha actions. I like that part. Yeah, so the cool stuff about this spot match. Some solid lucha spots. The Nuevo Generacion Dinamita are a really good 6 or 3-man team. They had a lot of good, trios spots to do. Psycho Clown, Laredo Kid, and Bandito all came out with fusion masks. So they all came out with their mask, but with Psycho Clown and Laredo Kid and Bandito bits all on it. So it was a really cool look. Johnny Caballero or whatever.
Caballero
came out riding one of those stick horses that little kids ride out with. That played into the finish, where during the match, people were getting hit in the head with cookie sheets. Johnny Caballero is about to use the pony. Laredo Kid stops him, goes to use it. Referee Marty Elias says, "No, you can't use this," and throws it to the side. Johnny then kicks Laredo Kid in the balls, rolls him up, gets the win. That's the finish. So, like I said, some good trio stuff, some good lucha action. The masks were cool, but the finish sucked ass. Whew.
Sounds like AAA.
Yeah.
Right.
When booking gets involved in AAA, it falls hard.
The AAA Reina de Reinas title match. I was not going to watch this anyway, so it's a shame to see how long it was.
Well, you can't watch it, Scotty, because I think twice, at least once during the match, production lost the feed for like a full minute.
Probably made the match better. Taya Valkyrie defeated Camille to
Yeah.
retain the title. Camille, the unbeatable Camille.
Camille, would you be surprised that Camille was the best part of this match?
No.
Yeah, well, she was. She was the best
She
part.
had a 4.63 rating on Cage Match.
Oof. The match itself.
2 people have rated her. No, her. As a
Ooh.
wrestler.
Ooh.
2 people have given her 9.
Mm.
5 people have given her a 6.
There's Tom Latimer and Billy Corgan.
4 have given her 4. 3 have given her 4 have given her 3, and 3 have given her 2. So
she's
there you go.
Now I'll say about Camille is that she has certainly improved. She has certainly gotten better than
That's
where she
what
was.
you're supposed to do as a wrestler.
Of course. Taya, on the other hand, feels like she's gotten worse.
Well, that's also true.
This match was very brutal, very bloody. Taya bled a lot.
Brutal! Nailed it.
A cool spot about this match that I thought was a really good spot. Didn't see it actually happen, but when we came back from the production issues, I was able to see it. But so Taya's bleeding a lot, and commentators like, "Oh, wearing the war paint or whatever." And then during the production hiatus, when we come back, at some point during the match, Camille took the blood off of Taya's face and then did like the football smear across both eyes, and then had that the rest of the match. It looked awesome. I was like, "Holy shit, that looks cool."
The peak of the match is something that you do aesthetically
during a blackout.
Yeah.
That really goes to show what I thought about the match. But yeah, it was not good. It was not a good match. Taya, I don't know what's happening with. I mean, Taya has never been like a great wrestler, but it feels like she's getting worse. Maybe it's just age or something. I don't know. And Camille has gotten a little bit better. I thought she was the better one in this match. But it just wasn't. It wasn't enjoyable. Probably worst match of the show.
All right. We're not done yet.
One match.
We got one more left here. We got Pagano defeating the Chess Man in a hair versus hair match. I heard this is bad.
Well, first of all, I don't know why Cage Match says it's Chess Man, because it wasn't Chess Man, it was Cybernetico. Different wrestler.
So funny.
Different wrestler altogether.
That's even funnier then.
Yeah, so I don't know why he's there. But Cybernetico, old guy.
Was it bad?
I think I enjoyed it the most. I thought it was good. I think I enjoyed it more than most people. It was long, 21 minutes, super long, way too long. The best part about the match was the finish, which I actually really thought was fun. Was interesting. Also, I should also say this match was like riddled with the referee takes a bump. It was the heel referee, so it's all that shenanigans. Then the heel referee takes a light tube bump. Cybernetico is also with his cronies, the toxins, whatever. So they're also involved in the match. Ref goes down, takes a bump. Vampiro comes out. He's the replacement referee. Chaos erupts. Then another old guy from back in the day, Jesse or Charlie Mason. Charlie Mason, I think that's it. I don't remember. He comes out. He's trying to even the odds. Then he leaves at one point. Cybernetico and Pagano fight to the stage, and then Conan comes out, who earlier in the show was beaten up by Cybernetico and the Los Vipers, I think their faction is called. So he comes back for redemption with a barbed wire baseball bat, beats up everybody. Then they go to the finish, which is they set up a table on the stage, and Pagano and Cybernetico are climbing a ladder to, presumably go through the table. Then Pagano picks up on, Pagano is on, here's the table on one side, Pagano's on the other side of the ladder, picks up Cybernetico while still on the other side of the ladder, onto his back, basically. And I'm like, oh man, how is Pagano going to climb the last two steps and then jump off this table? Because he did it. He goes, then instead of going through the table, falls backwards through the stage. Gets the pin, since it was false count anywhere, hair versus hair. And wins the match. And Pagano wins the match. I was legit like, I liked the finish because I was like, whoa, I didn't expect that to happen. I thought that was actually a legit cool finish. And then, Cybernetico gets wheeled out on a stretcher. And they cut to the backstage cam. Pagano's cutting his hair, walks away. The guy's like in an ambulance. Vampiro in the athletic commission. Barber like shaving the rest of Cybernetico's hair because they have to do the finish, of course. They have to do the rules. So the match was riddled with chaos, way too long. But the finish was interesting. So, and Pagano bled a lot, and Cybernetico bled. So, that's fun, I guess. It is what it is. For me, I like the finish. I thought the match was the more interesting matches than the multi-man match or the women's match. So I was more into it than I think other people. But, I imagine if you watch it, there's a good chance you might not like it.
All right.
So go check it out is what I'm saying. I'm not saying go check it out. I thought it
sounded like Triplemania.
Yeah. It
was 2 great
uh,
matches to complete a night full of letdowns, bad production issues.
The bad production issues happened probably the first hour of the broadcast.
Well, they actually happened throughout the whole show because camera cuts galore. Kills me.
Oh my god. Oh, the camera cuts.
It makes WWE seem like they don't cut at all.
You think you would get nauseous by the blood, and it turns out it's the camera cuts that make you nauseous. Didn't expect that one, but it was rough stuff. But that's AAA. That's Triplemania. That's it for the rest of the year for Triplemania. We don't have to talk about Triplemania probably for the rest of the year.
Or AAA.
Or AAA.
When they're not doing Triplemania, it feels like they're doing nothing.
Kind of. And that's also sort of a TV rights, sort of thing. But also, just check out Lucha Blogs, Google Drive, and you'll get all that footage, that TV footage. But yeah,
it was actually a great match a few weeks ago
on TV, the triple threat.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That was the Laredo Kid, Tauros, and Vikingo. Yeah, good match. There it is. Vikingo, Laredo Kid, Black Tauros, great stuff.
Yeah, they just do that for fun.
Oh, I mean, I'm okay if they do that with fun.
Yeah. Maybe FCR will defend their titles eventually.
Yeah. Hey, who knows?
They defended at a single Triplemania show.
No, they did not. Hey, look, but Dragon Lee, we know, can come to the States. Dralistico is about to come to the States. So maybe we'll have it on AEW television at some point. That's possible. We're getting that. We're getting that. They're both coming in for King of the Indies, so that should be pretty good. Can't wait for that show, by the way. November's looking spicy with shows. So we've been going for 2 hours. We didn't talk about NXT Halloween Havoc. Do you want to run through that real quickly, or you want to call it a day?
Because it's laughs.
All right. So NXT Halloween Havoc is happening.
I don't know any of the show. But...
Perfect. We'll go into this blind.
This is my only way to. Sorry. This is my only way to give Roxanne credit, which I will in a few minutes. So.
Fair enough. So we'll do NXT Halloween Havoc happening this Saturday in Orlando, Florida, of course. Possibly the last name show like this before we go back to stand and delivers or takeovers or whatever the hell. So I don't know. Takeovers probably.
Not stand and delivers.
We got some title matches
that
here.
That still remains.
We got some title matches. We got some gimmick matches. We got some other nonsense here. So
sounds like NXT.
It's very NXT. So let's talk. Let's start off with probably. Ooh. Yeah.
Wait a minute. I need to see if this is my match of the week or not.
I'll let you look that up. I hype the main event, which will be the NXT title match. Braun Breaker defending the title against JD McDonough and Eli Dragunov.
You just call him Eli?
Yeah, Eli Drake.
Did they change his name?
No, it's Ilya. I just read it wrong.
Okay, you just gave me a heart attack. I was like, holy shit. Why did I not know about this?
Eli Dragunov.
I actually think this will be a great match.
I mean, Dragunov and JD McDonough are gonna do great stuff. Braun Breaker's gotten a lot
I
better
think JD
too.
McDonough's kind of meh nowadays.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
I think Ilya's so good that he'll carry both of them.
I think that's true. I think that's accurate.
And it's a triple threat, like Braun Breaker just doing power stuff
Mm-hmm.
while to mix in with all that should be great.
Yeah, we've seen from it's a triple threat, and I think also that's the idea. We've seen it with tag matches with Braun Breaker. You can hide him. You can hide him, and that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna hide him in the match, and so it's gonna be a little bit. I feel like Braun might be the Mandy Rose of this triple threat match in terms of
That is so disrespectful.
Of the Ilya Dragunov, JD McDonough to the B Priestley and Meku Satomura. I feel like Braun's gonna be the Mandy Rose a little bit here, but I think he's gonna retain, just like Mandy Rose.
He is. However,
mm-hmm.
he is better than Mandy Rose.
That we can agree upon. Vacant NXT North American title match in a ladder match was vacated because they had Solo Sikoa end Carmelo Hayes' reign and then immediately give it up a week later. Incredibly stupid, just to do a ladder match. I hated that. I hated that booking. But we got a ladder match here. We got Carmelo Hayes again in here. We got a guy named Oro Mensah. He's a former NXT...
Oliver Carter.
Is that Oliver Carter?
Yeah.
I was like, a former NXT UK Tag Team Champion. Who is this man?
I had to look that up personally because I was like, what?
Mm-hmm. We also got Wes Lee in here. We got Von Wagner, who some people are saying looks better, and I'll believe it when I see it.
Don't fucking lie to me. Guy sucks.
And then Nathan Frazier, who of course won this.
That's what I wanted to talk about.
Best 2 out of 3. Not best. 2 out of 3 series. With
him and Axiom.
Yep.
Him and A-Kid was great this past weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Week, not weekend.
All 3 of them
probably the best.
All 3 of them matches really good.
Well, this was the first one I saw. Because it was the only one that I saw anyone talk about. So I was like, all right, this must be the best one. A-Kid's excellent still, if anyone cares. I know no one cares, but I don't know why he's Axiom. I have yet to connect the dots.
Well, it's the same issue that an AEW
Did he used to wear a mask?
No.
That's even funnier.
They put him in a mask. It's the same issue, though. It's the same issue that AEW had with Jungle Boy. It's, at a certain point, it's boy, kid. You got to start aging the guy up. So what do we do? Jungle Boy, let's just drop Jungle Boy, make it a nickname, call him Jack Perry. A-Kid, how do we go from A-Kid to something else? You know what? Let's put him in a mask. Let's call him. Let's steal Razor Wing's mask from the Indies, make him obsessed with math for some reason, and call him Axiom.
I like the Axiom name. It's fine.
I'm just saying that there's Axiom. There's Ray Phoenix, El Hijo del Vikingo, Laredo Kid, Black Taurus, Axiom. Who do you think's going to win and be the NXT North American champion, and why is it Carmelo Hayes?
I actually don't think it's Carmelo Hayes.
Oh, who do you think's going to be?
Hopefully not Von Wagner.
I feel like it almost has to be if it's not Carmelo Hayes, I feel like it should be Wes Lee because he is doing nothing.
That's who I was gonna pick. I think it'll be Wes Lee.
I also feel like it's probably going to be another hot contender. Maybe I think Von Wagner.
If it was Nathan Frazier, that'd be kind of beast.
I think Nathan Frazier's the underdog here, and Von Wagner's the dark horse.
Ugh, what a terrible dark horse.
Yeah. In a
it'll be that guy that I don't know the name of. Oro
Mensah.
Not Ogre. Okay.
In a spin the wheel, make the deal weapons wild match. It is going to be Roxanne Perez versus Cora Jade. Upcoming Tuesday, they're doing a pick your poison match, stolen right from Impact. How dare they? Roxanne is having Cora Jade fight Raquel Gonzalez, and I don't think we know yet who Cora Jade's pick is. No. But what do you think of this?
Picking from Raw.
Ooh, interesting. So they're loading up Tuesday to go up against Dynamite.
Loading.
Yeah, I'm gonna look up the roster. I'm gonna look up the roster and make my best guess. But go ahead.
I hope they give Roxanne someone good, because what they did this past Friday, everybody, is Roxanne Perez got a chance to wrestle Dakota Kai, Bailey, and Io Shirai. And not so shockingly, she looked good against all of them. Because my main point here is, one, she's the best prospect they have by far. It's not even close, in my opinion. Two, I think she has all the makings to be the best women's wrestler in the history of the United States. I just said that.
In the history of the United States?
Well, I think Sasha Banks is the best.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The next active wrestler in the United States.
Yeah, so I think she's only 20 still.
Mm-hmm.
And she's already this good.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, if she can keep building on this and they make her main part, which I think they will, she will be great. I think she has all the makings to be truly, truly great. She showed it here. Her and Io Shirai was really good together. Her and Dakota were really good together. Her and Bailey weren't in there that long, but they were solid too. She almost beat Bailey, which would have been great, but she's already ready to make the step up. That's the thing. Like, she's 20 years old. She's already ready to make the step up. Like, Mandy Rose isn't ready to make the step up. And Mandy Rose is like 34. That's my point.
Yeah.
She's that good. I think she could be a special, special talent. I really wish she got to wrestle some other people outside of WWE first, but it's okay. WWE has probably the best, like, roster of women through their ranks in the US, so can't complain.
I'm looking over the WWE roster for Raw, and I'm gonna say, just based off of who they faced,
it's gonna be a heel, right?
And it's got to be a heel, someone who has some sort of Cora Jade connection. My guess, and also they have to load up the show for to go up against AEW, the War Return.
Crushed by AEW, but yeah, continue.
I'm gonna say Bailey.
Bailey wanted to face her.
Yeah, I think that it's also got to be someone that she would lose to Bailey. Roxanne would lose to Bailey for sure, but it's got to be someone that can work within her style, a technical more style.
It's got to be one of those three.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think Io would be the right fit. I could see Dakota.
Her and Io were so good together.
That's true. That is very true. They were
the other day, but I think you're
right. Julius Creed of the Creed brothers versus Damon Kemp in an ambulance match, where if Julius loses, Brutus Creed will have to leave NXT. I don't understand the stipulation, because why is Brutus getting punished for Julius's crimes, I guess, to Damon Kemp? But also, the belief is still, I think, that Damon Kemp was the one that attacked Roderick Strong. I don't think they've unveiled that yet, if I recall correctly. Why is it not just lean into that and say Roderick Strong is out of NXT or something like that? I don't know. Like, why are we doing Brutus? Like, it tells me I already know who's winning. They're also the tag champions.
No, they're not.
Are they not? They lost to the Pretty Deadly. I forgot. That's
they
going
should
right.
be, but they're not.
Yeah, but yeah. So I don't understand. I forgot. Damon Kemp was the one that made them lose the titles. Yeah. So what do you think about this match? Are you hyped for it? Are you hyped for Creed versus Kemp?
I think they both are good prospects, so it could be fun. But it's an ambulance match, so you can only do so much in an ambulance match. It's entertaining. That's a weird stipulation.
Where do you think the ambulance is going to be parked? On stage?
I have no idea.
In the performance center? Room? Yeah, I was about to say. Are they going to fight to the back and then to the parking lot, the classic NXT parking lot?
I think so.
Oh, here we go. NXT parking lot. Let's go, baby.
Match just got 10 times better because of that parking lot.
In another spin the wheel, make the deal match, we don't know what the match will be. Will be spun on Saturday or maybe this upcoming Tuesday. Apollo Crews versus Grayson Waller. Pretty good. I'm kind of interested in watching this match only because Grayson Waller is pretty good. Apollo Crews is pretty good. I hope they have sort of a blood.
So the match
feud.
should be Pretty good.
The match be pretty good. There's sort of a blood feud going on. So I think, blood feud revolving around eyeballs. So I think it's going to be something regarding, I don't know, stab your opponent in the eye. Oh, it's going to be an eye for an eye match. That's how you do it, baby. That's how you book. That's how you book in WWE. It's be an eye for an eye match. Apollo Crews is going to lose an eyeball, or Grayson Waller is going to lose an eyeball, and that's going to be the match. And that's the main event.
We don't talk about how Rey Mysterio got his eyeball back.
It regrew. And the not main event, surely. Singles match for the NXT Women's Championship: Mandy Rose versus Alba Fire, aka Kaylee Ray. Are we switching the title? Is the reign finally coming to the end for Mandy Rose? Are we putting the title on Alba Fire?
I called her Alba Fire the other day because I didn't know her name. Good to know it's Alba.
I think it's Alba. I think it's Alba as in Jessica Alba.
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
And
if they're going,
that's your insight on the match. Oh yeah.
If they're trying to go back to like NXT roots, it should be Alba Fire.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. They keep fucking having Mandy winning, so I'm just gonna expect Mandy wins again.
I feel like it's gonna be Alba Fire because I don't.
I think they want to call up Toxic Attraction too.
Yeah,
which sounds dangerous, but shout out Gigi Dolan. I don't know.
Dolan,
and JC Jane. Shout out them. They're the real heart of Toxic Attraction. They're not very good, but they're not bad.
They're not bad for sure. I think Alba Fire is gonna win only because the two last names. You gotta pick the win there. But also you got the Toxic Attraction potential call up. And you also have who the hell is going to beat Mandy Rose if it's not she's beaten like everyone else on the roster. If it's not her, Alba Fire, who's it gonna be? That's where I'm sort of settling.
Nope. Wait, let me try to think. Who's it gonna be?
Who's it gonna be?
Let's look at the NXT roster.
All right. I'm gonna look up Mandy Rose's defeats to make sure that she has not already beaten them.
Okay, so she's technically So Alba Fire is the challenger.
Correct.
Don't know who Amari Miller is. Cora Jade's a heel.
Yeah.
Elektra Lopez is in Purgatory.
Purgatory. She's also already beat Cora Jade, by the way.
I don't know who Fallon Henley is.
That is she's teaming up with the Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen, the cowgirl.
That sounds terrible.
Also, by the way, I take it back. She's also Mandy Rose is also already beaten Kaylee Ray.
Yeah, that's right.
But she hasn't beaten Alba Fire. But go on.
Gigi has enough fans that she could probably turn, but that's not happening. Indy Hartwell,
maybe
that'd be a choice. I always thought she was going to be the one actually, but I don't know. Maybe
she was in,
Ivy Niles. Pretty cool.
She was in Purgatory for too long and became too cold.
Oh yeah, Ivy Niles cool, but probably not.
No, she's not.
JC Jane, Jagger Reed.
That's a fake name. That's a fake name you included. I don't know who that person is.
Sorry, I haven't looked through the NXT roster in a while.
Who the hell is Jagger Reed?
The former one half of the Grizzled Young Veterans.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, so
it's not Zach Gibson, but the other one.
Jagger. Oh, James Drake.
Yeah, he's now Jagger Reed.
Jagger.
Anyways, Katana Chance, no. Kaden Carter, no. I don't know who Kiana James is. Please don't be Lash Legend. Nikita Lyons. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I could see that maybe. But
I could too, but man, that would ruin it. What are these names? Roxanne Perez would be the right choice, but that's not happening.
She's already lost.
Sarai is nowhere to be found.
Purgatory.
Piss me off. Tatum Paxley, I don't know who you are. Thea Hale, I don't know who you are. Tiffany Stratton! She's a heel, though. Damn it.
She would be good. She'd be a babe.
Tiffany Stratton's great, and she's also injured. Valentina Feroz. I think she's hurt.
I think she's fine. It's Yelissa Leon, I think, is who is injured.
Whatever. Okay, I know their team. Wendy Chu, no, she already beat her. Elisa Leone, like you just said, and then Zoe Stark, she already beat. So yeah, it seems like we're down to Nikita Lyons and Alba Fire. This sucks. That's not great.
Do you think they will also have Mandy Rose win and then just do a takeover Royal Rumble weekend? No, not Royal Rumble weekend, Survivor Series weekend. and then lose it there. These are the things I think about. These are the things that keep me up at night.
If Alba Fire wins, they have a road to go from Alba Fire to Stratton or Jade.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
That would open that up. Or you can go against Indy Hartwell. Cold.
Yeah.
Fire to Cold.
Yeah.
Or maybe Saray as well. Fire, Sun, Fire.
Sailor Moon. Is that the show they made her into?
Let's do Sailor Moon, but instead of the moon, it's the sun.
Assholes.
Anyways, that's it for us on this episode of Ring Post Radio. Get some plugs out there. Let's talk about them. Scotty, what is your match of the week, and what do you got to plug?
You can follow me at Scotty Wrestling on Twitter.
You have a big plug coming out this week as well.
I do. So
actually, technically, it came out an hour and 49 minutes ago. In a way.
Yes. What?
A Patreon.
Oh, it's Sunday. Well, yeah. I think it's Saturday. That's why I'm confused.
That's fair.
Anyways, let me do my plugs. Come on, Ryan. Shut up.
I'm sorry. I'll shut up.
I'm trying to do this here.
I'm giving you plugs to do for you.
So this is my. You can go check out my interview with Tom Lawler if you want on Fightful.com. But the main plug that Ryan was hinting at that did come out an hour and 49 minutes ago on the Patreon, but you can wait till Tuesday if you don't want to pay, but you should pay because it's some great content on the Patreon, is the beginning of the Stardom Road podcast here on the Countout Network. Very excited. I got Trent doing that with me. Guys, my tongue is killing me, so bear with me here. I don't know if I'm speaking clear English or not, but Stardom Road, we go down the road of Stardom's grand history and how they've gotten to where they are. It's not all shiny rainbows, but a lot of it's a lot of fun. We start off by looking at the very first match of Izuki Aikawa, which is exciting. You'll get to, if you don't know who she is, you will by listening to our show. So be sure to do that this week on Tuesday. But if you're really wondering and you got to hear it now, go subscribe to that Patreon. My match of the week is the GLEAT main event. By the way, guys, I don't get to talk about it enough on this show, but GLEAT's top 5 promotion for me. I love this goddamn company. It's so good. Like, I know we originally started as a joke, but I legitimately think they put on the best shows.
The return of Get Gleated?
Get Gleated. Oh man, I want to get Gleated so bad. I think they had one of the best shows of the year this past weekend. In terms of match quality.
What?
Yeah, while you're watching Impact and NWA and wasting your time over there, I'm watching GLEAT over here. So the match that I'm talking about, even though 2 of them are must-see matches, is Jun Kasai and Masashi Takeda versus Hayato Tamura and Ryuichi Kawakami. That match really kind of followed the road of that El Desperado match that Kasai had, making non-death match wrestlers kind of having to show hard and come out and try to survive almost in a lot of ways. Excellent stuff. And also Kaito Ishida versus Tetsuya Izuchi was also fantastic from that show. And the Bandito and Commander match was great as well. So must see over there on GLEAT. My tongue is killing me. So goodbye. Those were my last words.
Yes. My match of the week is going to be Is that we kind of already talked about stuff? I will talk about Orange Cassidy versus Pac from AEW Dynamite. I thought the match was really, really good. I really enjoyed it. Continuation of the story between the two of them, these long-term, promotion rivals between Pac and Orange Cassidy. First ever title win for Orange Cassidy, so huge news as well there. I thought they did a good job playing into it, doing all the hammer gimmicks and all that stuff. Really, set the story, simple story, told it well. I thought the match was pretty good. But yes, other plugs. You can follow me at Ryan Icey. Follow Scotty at Scott E Wrestling. Follow the host show at Countout Pod. Subscribe to Ring Post Radio wherever you get podcasts. And again, subscribe to the Patreon. Patreon.com/CountOutPod. That's where you'll get all of that content. That's where you'll get early access right now. Again, literally right now, before it comes out, you can listen to the first episode of Stardom Road. Very happy to have you and Trent on board for that Stardom show. If you're someone that, you're hearing great things about Stardom, you want to get into it, and you maybe want to learn the history of Stardom to get into it. It's only 10 years. It's not 50 years like New Japan or All Japan. It's only 10 years. So if you want to learn about that and go down that road with Trent, with Scott, then Stardom Road is the show for you. And again, it is right now on the patreon.com/countoutpod. You can listen to that first episode along with Scotty and I's show. Ryan hasn't seen anything. Weirdly, our show, even though my name's in the title, where we've watched a lot of matches live. And funny enough, we'll have a match that'll come out tomorrow. For Ryan hasn't seen anything. It is also a Stardom match. Io Shirai versus Kairi Hojo for the World of Stardom title. So that's coming out tomorrow on the Patreon as well. We've got other stuff like a great D&D show as well, and other backlog of audio that other shows have done as well. So a lot of cool stuff on the Patreon. Again, patreon.com/countoutpod. Definitely go check it out. That is it for this week's episode of Ring Post Radio. We will see you all next week on Ring Post Radio, hopefully on Twitter this time.